Right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. Tonight our coverage of the 2025 Women's Euros continues as we move into match week 2, or the last game of match week 2. It's Group D in action as France take on Wales. France tonight with a win would see themselves pretty much through into the knockouts. Wales would be all but eliminated. In fact, they would be out of the competition with a loss tonight. So, big evening in terms of the competition for France. Based on their performances, they shouldn't have any issues for Wales. It's going to be a hard ask to compete with such a strong opponent. Harry, how do you view it coming into this one?
I think it's going to be an interesting game. As you say, Wales are up against it. France will be expecting to win and to win big this evening, but we've seen stranger things happen at the Euros before, and maybe Wales can conjure up a performance that will keep them in the tournament. But this group stage is flying by thick and fast, and it does mean that it puts sides like Wales into a position where it is win or be knocked out. And I think for Wales tonight, it is a mammoth task for them to survive and to keep themselves alive going into match week 3. They were dealt a difficult hand, but maybe they can get something out of this match. But France, they look brilliant against England, and they'll look to keep up that similar standard. And if they do, I think Wales could be pretty powerless to resist the French onslaught, but we'll wait and see how it all pans out. We've seen, Wales put up a decent fight against Netherlands, to be fair, and if they can put up a similar fight, then maybe they can, something will happen and they'll get a slice of luck, and who knows in football. But overall, been a really good match week 2, some great action. We've already seen teams confirmed through, already seen some sides knocked out, and I feel like this is going to be quite an important way to end the match week, where we could see yet another side knocked out of Euro 2025.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, I think, for Wales this evening. They were pretty poor against Netherlands, and Netherlands didn't look brilliant, and they still won that game 3-0. It easily could have been a lot more if they were facing a more clinical side. So I think it's going to be really difficult tonight. We saw France look really strong, especially going forwards against England. So I really do struggle to see anyway after France win tonight, but we'll see what happens. Let's have a look then at the lineup. So to start, we are in St. Gallen for this game. We'll start with the French team. 4-3-3 for France, and a rotated team for France. In goal, Pedro Magnin. A back four, Vendongala, Samura, Sombaf and Selma Batcher. In the midfield 3, it's Madri, Toletti and captain Grace Cayoro. And a new look front line of Melvi Mallard, Matteo and Kaladiatau Diani. So pretty much almost wholesale changes for France. About 7 changes in there from the side to beat England. They're feeling confident going into tonight.
They're feeling very confident. It's very rare you see a manager make this many changes in the group stages of a major tournament, and especially when it's not the last game of the group. So it's bold. It's really bold from France, but I back it, and I think that when you've got the quality of the squad like France, if you know if you know your strongest 11 is consistent and is delivering and doesn't need to gel, then it makes sense to use the quality you've got as a squad. For sides like England and for Germany, I think they're in positions where they want to play their strongest 11s, so that they keep getting used to playing with each other and they keep gelling, so they're at peak performance going into the knockouts. But for France, they know their strongest 11 are brilliant. They showed that in the England game, and I'm sure they'll show that on Sunday against Netherlands. But it makes sense here to use the squad, lower the risk of injury, and give good opportunities. I mean, we're talking about rotating, but they're bringing in.
It's not a weak side at all, is it?
And that's the thing. It's when you've got such a strong quality of squad, you might as well use it all. And it's it's not insulting to Wales at all, because it's still a very high quality 11. It's not like they've just picked out 11 semi-professionals to come play. They are still phenomenal players, some of the best players in the world on the pitch here. The fact that Diani is in this 11, and still players of their quality and calibre show that this game is certainly, France are still taking it very, very seriously. Of course they are, but I think it's good squad management. And overall, it's for me, it's the right decision. I like it. I like the rotation.
Yeah, no, completely agree. It's really strong from France. I think only the players staying in the side are Gayoro, Batcher, Sombaf and Pedro Magnin. Other than that, I believe it's wholesale changes. So a lot of changes for France. As for Wales, a couple changes to the side that lost to the Netherlands. In goal, Middleton Patel, so a change between the sticks. A flat back four of Green, Morgan, Evans and Woodham. In the midfield, it is going to be a pivot most likely, or potentially midfield 3. We'll see what happens. But I think it'll be Rowe, Captain James, and then Fishlock playing as a more advanced fielder. Could be Holland in there. Those two could have interchangeable roles. Holland, I think, will play one wing, Fionn Morgan the other, and leading the line will be Kayleigh Barton. So for Wales, lots of changes. Hayley Ladd dropping out the side, a bit of a surprise one. Hannah Kane dropping out. Is this what you expect from Wales, though, changes?
Yeah, there are changes. I think they need changes because you want, again, first major international tournament, you want to give opportunities to everyone in the squad. You want everyone to get the opportunity to represent themselves. And I think that it's, they're positive, negative changes. I think let's start with the positives. Bringing in a recognised number 9, I think is a massive boost. I thought they really struggled in that department to have someone to aim for. I thought, we saw Fishlock lead the line for a bit and then Hannah Kane lead the line for a bit. And although they are good finishers and good players, none of them are out-and-out number 9s. I think Barton comes in and offers you a bit more of a, more characteristics you'd expect to see from a striker. So that I think is a boost, and dropping Fishlock deeper means that she can create a bit, and if you can get a cut back to her, then she'll finish it. So some positives in there. I think we could bring in Fionn Morgan in as well, a very sharp player, very dangerous player off that left-hand side. And I think that overall, it looks to be Wales look to have put together a much dangerous front four. And that is huge because I thought against Netherlands, the big thing, they never came forwards because they just didn't have the quality in the front four. But a few changes in there, and I think that it looks pretty strong. And if they can get the ball, maybe they can hurt France and turn it over. But I think that they're going to struggle. It'll be interesting to see whether they do go for the 4-back or the 5-back defensively. I think whichever way they pick, it's going to be a lot of people behind the ball and trying to absorb pressure. And the problem is, obviously, Peter will say, look at what Poland have done and look at what Wales did for 45 minutes against Netherlands and say, they could hold on here, they could get a result. But the difference is what Poland did well against Germany and what Wales had against what Poland and Wales had against Germany and Netherlands were that Germany and Netherlands moved the ball really slowly to start with, and it took them time to get going. And it was a little bit lethargic. They weren't moving the ball very quickly, so they weren't finding way through. What France will do is they look at the way they hit the ball about against England when they came forwards. They are just so fluid when they come forwards. They move the ball so quickly. It's really difficult for sides to remain disciplined because France are so good at not only dragging you out, but finding those quick combinations that force the gaps to open up, and then suddenly you're in a world of trouble. And that's why I feel a bit for Wales tonight and their fans, who again will be really hopeful and are great to be here and have certainly enjoyed their time in Switzerland, and credit to them. But I think they'll do well tonight to get something from it because France are just, they look to be that level above and they look to be in that conversation with Spain in terms of you can try and put up a good fight, but at times if France play to their peak performance, that it's just unstoppable. They're simply unplayable.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's going to be tough tonight. France moved the ball really quickly against England. They had to break effectively into wide areas. For Wales tonight, it's going to be really tough to try and deal with the threat posed by France. So it's going to be a tough one. They've just got to try and remain compact, try and handle France as best they can. Ultimately, though, I think this will be a very difficult evening for Wales. In terms of trying to offer an attacking threat, they've struggled to get shots away against the Netherlands. How can they be a bit more potent, a bit more dangerous in this match? In the Netherlands game, only 5 shots, none on target. What can they do better?
Well, I think they're already one step closer to that. I think they've named a better front four and someone that can, in Barton, who can potentially hold the ball up a little bit better than Fishlock and Kane were trying to do. But I think that the clearances have to be purposeful. For me, against Netherlands, from Wales' point of view, there were too many clearances that either didn't have enough distance on them and would just end up kind of reaching the 18-yard, or they'd only get 20, 25 yards out, or they were just randomly punted off the pitch or punted up the field. And I get that because obviously they're defending deep and they just want to get it out by any means possible. But if they do try and aim those clearances and try and pick out their front players, then not only are they going to relieve the pressure on themselves because they'll get the ball further up the pitch, but they'll also get opportunities to come forwards. And that was the problem. There was just no service to the front three because Wales were sat so deep, and when they did get the ball, they just smashed it out of play. For me, it's risky, but if they try and keep it in play and they try and get the likes of Barton to hold on to it, not only will they look to maybe get a shot away and could come forwards and cause France problems in transition, but also they will just take time that means they're not under pressure, because for every second they launch it long and Barton could hold it up, that could be 30 seconds to a minute where the defence just get to take a breather, which can be crucial in these kind of games. again, Poland. I know Wales haven't got a Payor in this side or whoever, but if they can get the ball to someone just to take a little bit of the pressure off, give that backline time to rest, then they're more likely to be able to hold on for longer. I think Wales, again, it'll be about managing the minutes, get through the first 5, get through the first 10, make sure you're still level at that point, and then just see how the game progresses for there. But they're going to have to be disciplined, and they're going to have to dig deep for the majority of this match.
Yeah, a great turnout, by the way, from both sets of supporters tonight. So a large collection of Wales fans and a fair amount of France fans in the stands as well. So it's good to see quite a passionate support on both sides of the fence. And let's get into predictions now. If you're watching along, get involved in the live chat. Give us your score prediction. We'll start here in the studio with us. Then we'll start with yourself. Harry, what is your prediction for tonight's game?
I think that Wales will give it a good go, but France, for me, just look too good at the moment. And I think Wales will really struggle to keep them quiet. I think France look brilliant in Matchweek 1. They will continue that good form into this game. And I will go... I think France will hit 5. I'll go 5-0 to France. I think it will be goals from a Diani double, a goal for Toletti, a goal for Batcha, and then that's 4. The 5th will come through. I'll go Sombath. Bit of a rogue one, corner, bit of a poorly cleared ball, and she just pounces on it to make it 5.
Very rogue one. Well, if Wales can play with the passion that they deliver their anthem with, I think they'll be all right. But I do predict it'll be a similarly difficult game. I'll say 4-0 France, just to be slightly more modest. I can't see any way that quality doesn't prevail here. It's such a strong team for France. I think it'll be a brace from Diani on her return. I think we'll see a goal from Melvin Mallard. And I'll say from midfield, Majri and a 4-0 win for France. Just look much stronger than Wales. I just can't see a way that the Welsh compete.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that, it's been a really good tournament for them. Obviously, their breakthrough tournament is brilliant. They've had some superb support out in Switzerland by the fans, and that is great to see. And it's a shame that great they've got to the tournament. It's a shame that maybe it is just they haven't got the quality quite yet. They did really well to get here, but the group has really hurt them as well. They've got a horrible group, and we obviously that is a massive factor in their performance at this campaign. And it would have been interesting to see how they competed. Say they got drawn into that Group A, then it'd be interesting to see how they competed up against that kind of quality, maybe a little bit closer to themselves. So it's a shame that they haven't been able to put up, that they're going to struggle to put up a fight in this group. They found it difficult against Netherlands in Matchweek 1, and I think that tonight just gets even tougher for them. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Maybe the footballing gods will fall in Wales' favour, and something will come up or happen that means they take something from this game. But realistically, it should be France winning tonight, putting themselves top of the group, and Wales will unfortunately probably end up out of the tournament by the end of the 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's probably more than likely. This France team are really strong, and this Wales team aren't. I think we saw it in the Netherlands match. Wales are just a step down in quality of everyone else in this group. It's hard because they're in a tough group, but equally Poland are in a tough group, and they put up a much better fight. It's just, it's a shame that we've not really seen Wales so far been able to do that. Perhaps tonight will be different, but there wasn't much in that first game that gives me hope that tonight will be any different. I think it's going to be a tough one. But they've just got to try and limit France creating opportunities, try and make their clearances purposeful tonight. I think a lot of the time they just smashed it directly up in the air or couldn't quite clear that ball away.
Yeah.
It was half clearances maybe to the edge of the box. None of it really worked out. So, disappointing in that regard. I think it's going to be tough to see anything different tonight. The quality in this France team is so strong. And there's players in this reserve team or this rotated side that are players we expected to start. You take Candidia Diani, someone we would have expected to start. You take someone like Toletti, we thought she was going to start. Grace Kayora obviously is a starter anyway. There's players in this 11 that we thought were going to start. There's quality in the France squad means they don't, but they're still excellent players, and so it's going to be really difficult to see to see Wales competing this evening.
Yeah, it very much is. I think that the one thing Wales don't have that other teams do is that one kind of star player. Poland have got the Pajor, Finland have had Salstrom as the legend and Kasola as the rising star. I just think that overall they've got some decent quality players in certain areas, but just, they haven't got that one like top class player for me. That I think they, Holland, Fishlock, they've got some very decent.
Well, the rest of the
players.
hopes on Jess Fishlock, and if this was a few years ago,
Yeah.
maybe that would work. But they don't really have enough quality Wales to change the game.
Yeah, I think so, and that's the thing. Maybe, hopefully, someone will come through, and I think Maisie Davies was a big miss at the start of this tournament as well. A shame that she got injured because she'd have been a good part to bolster that defence. But yeah, well, let's see what they can do tonight. Maybe they'll put on a show and surprise us all.
Well, perhaps they will. It be Wales to get us underway. Fishlock from the middle, waiting for the referee, who is sauntering around, checking all is in order. Does now go down to our watch, and the whistle signals we can get underway. Fishlock knocks it back, and it's the final match in match day 2. France take on Wales in Group D. A France win would see them all but through. A Wales loss would see them out of the competition. So a lot on the line this evening, and it's France going forwards early on here. Lovely play down the left-hand side. Matteo breaking towards goal. Good save by Middleton Patel. 19 seconds in, France threatening already.
It's exactly what they can do. They turn it over half the pitch. They move the ball 2-3 quick passes, and suddenly they're putting your goalkeeper under pressure. And Wales have, not even had time to wake up or get into the game before France are already on them.
I never like seeing a goalkeeper change at a tournament. I've never seen it work, but you feel that Middleton Patel should have started from the off. Ball hung towards the back post, headed back across goal. Cleared away. Now can they break away, Wales? They've got Fionn Morgan here, running down the left-hand side. Wants to take on Ndongala. Tries to play it down the line. Really good defending from France's right back. And now they'll try and move this ball forwards quickly. Wales. But Laurent Bonnadet will be really pleased with how his France side have performed so far. His first major tournament. Their first one under his stewardship. And they've performed really well on the opening night. He'll be hoping the performances continue throughout the group stage. In what was a comfortable fixture tonight, I really like the rotation that he's gone for. Tilletti. Now Samora. Out to the right-hand side. Ndongala. Majri back towards Ndongala. Tries to play a pass through. Comes away with it off of Holland. Here's Diani breaking into box across to Matteo. And that's a big block in there. Cannoning off of Gemma Evans and denying Matteo from close range.
Huge block again. Brilliance from France. Diani there has afforded way too much space. How she creeps into Wales penalty area and nobody is near her, and she has the time to receive it, take it on the turn, and start running towards that Wales net.
It's actually Josie Green with the all-important intervention. It looks like she'll play centre half tonight with Esther Morgan deputising in a right back. France now, they just look threatening from this set piece. Selma Batcher, not a bad ball, dealt with just about by Wales, and Diani unable to react in time at the back post.
Yeah,
France, a throw.
A fast start for France.
No relief at the moment either.
And I think it's going to be a very difficult night for Rhiannon Wilkinson and her side, because they're going to have to really hang in there for the majority of this match. I mean, with 3 minutes in, France have had 3 shots and already had a couple of corners and are putting loads of pressure on.
Mallard up against Barton. Comes away with it. They can't quite make it work. So does it like it be Morgan perhaps through the middle?
Again, that's not terrible. I don't mind that.
No, it should give them a bit more transitional threat than Fishlock, but perhaps struggling to hold the ball up as nicely as we might have thought. They'll play a 4-4-2 out of possession shape today, which I think is slightly more positive as well. Gives someone for Fishlock to play off, with her and Morgan playing as a front two, Barton operating as a right winger in this setup. So yeah, players slightly out of position, but they're all they're doing jobs and roles in this Wales system. Phil says, I can see by the way, says I'm ready for a nice late goal for Wales to get the upset victory. In the real world, however, this might get nasty as Selma Batcher breaks down the left-hand side here for France. Can she deliver a ball into the box? It's blocked, but not adequately. Matteo tries to cut it to the edge. Doesn't quite come away with it. Holland to Fishlock. It's a little bit ad hoc, but it does result in them getting a free kick there as Gayoro brings down the Wales midfielder row.
It's just as good as France are, we're already saying the fundamentals for Wales just not there. Like, don't get me wrong, that is a brilliant burst from Batcher, but how that low-driven cross has been missed by 2 defenders and allowed to get into the penalty area just shouldn't happen. And I know that, but it doesn't matter they're playing France or anything. That shouldn't happen for Wales. And again, when Diani was stood on the edge of the area, or in the penalty area, and no one was near her, that shouldn't happen at any level. You know, even though they're playing France.
All lifted in behind. Position. Morgan will give chase. Sombath looks comfortable dealing with that, though, and now they look to play on the left-hand side. Pedro Magni.
Whereas Morgan's got the pace to be fast and press aggressively, but no one's going to go with her.
And they need to get the ball exactly right, because France have pace in the back line this evening with Sombath, and Samora's not slow either. So this is the kind of game where Wales would have wanted Wendy Renard.
Yeah,
and it's not because she's a bad defender at all. She's one of the best to ever do it, but she was on the slower side towards the end of her career. Ball towards the back post, headed away. You're surprised to see France not bring Mbok into action. Obviously, missed the first game with a knock. I'm guessing still not ready. This is a sort of game where they could have eased her in.
I think it's really good management at the moment from Laurent Bonnaday. I think that, you know, what I like, and this is because, and I think this is the benefit of having a manager that doesn't come with the name or from having too many other famous exploits in managerial roles, is that there's no favourites or big start. He came in, he dropped Renard and Le Sommer.
Yeah.
He's happy. He will pick whatever 11 players he wants to, no matter of their name or who they play for. And I have massive respect for him, because while we see some of the best managers still picking their favourites at times, Bonnaday comes in and goes, we're going to do it my way or no way. And fair enough to me. That's, I haven't got a problem with that. I rate that highly.
Yeah.
Doesn't allow.
It's quite difficult for anyone to get a gauge on how he's going to play coming into this tournament, because he doesn't. It's not like even like Christian Vuk, who has come out of the German academy, or German youth setup. We knew how he was going to set up because of how he played in those games, but he just come out of nowhere. Chance now for France. Well, say not nowhere, of course, but he was manager in the PSG youth setup, Nice youth setup, I think, and then over to Saudi Arabia, the most recent job as the women's manager. So, yeah, we had no idea what he was going to come in and do at this tournament.
Yeah, and it has caught people out. I think his team selection, the way he wants to play, it's France have become an unknown, which is actually, I think, is faring them better than when people knew they had the quality and they weren't delivering. Now they're a bit of an unknown. They've still got bags of quality, but in terms of the way they want to play and how they're going to play football, they are a little bit of, no one really knows what's going on there, and I think that benefits them slightly. And so far it is. They caught Wiegman and England out in Matchweek 1, and I'm sure they'll probably win tonight. I'm sure that they'll probably find it pretty. They'll probably have a good time against Netherlands as well in Matchweek 3.
Yeah, Batcher over this. Good delivery. Gianni can't quite meet it. Strike, and it's a goal. Too easy, really, for France, and it falls to the back post. Matteo catches it cleanly, and that is France 1, Wales 0. Just not dealt with that corner, Wales. It fell to Matteo, and after 7 minutes, France have the lead.
And I spoke about this in the build-up. Half clearances aren't good enough. When you clear the ball or just failing to deal with it. When you have balls into the box, you have to make sure the first contact is a red shirt, or tonight in a green shirt, and get it gone. But it's just not really dealt with. It's flicked on by... Was it flicked on by a France player in the end? I think it was. No, it wasn't. It was a header from James that just goes backwards.
That was... Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah. And then on the volley, it's a really good volley. Great strike from Matteo. But again, if you're going to head that away, you've got to head it up and out rather than skimming it on backwards. That just doesn't do the job inside.
More pace.
Yes.
But it just doesn't really get anything on it.
I mean, to be fair, it's an unconventional finish, and it's actually really well taken, very inventive to chest it down, take it on the volley, and to find the top corner as well. Well taken goal from Matteo.
Got height on it, and that was then out of the reach of Kayleigh Barton, who couldn't do anything on the line. So, yeah, well taken goal from France. Really poorly dealt with the corner, though, by Wales.
Yeah.
And 7 minutes in, An explosion of red, white and blue led Tricolore taking the lead. And they're trying to play out here again. Josie Green backed into a corner.
And this was
France throw.
This was the thing we saw in the Netherlands game, which was something we didn't see in the Netherlands game. We're interested to see what happened now. Is because Wales conceded just before half time, there wasn't then that period where they, are they going to collapse or are they going to hold firm, because they had 15 minutes to reset. And I think that's why they only conceded 3, because they didn't have that period after conceding and they only, got to reset again.
They couldn't regroup, and Netherlands, who were playing pretty poorly, had 15 minutes to change how they were doing things, and they came out in the second half and looked a lot better.
But now, if Wales...
Mallard cleared away in there by Green. Gaillard tried to keep it alive. That one is much more convincing from Holland, but there's no one forwards.
Yeah, they've just got to remain firm and not give in now, Wales. Hold out for a bit longer.
Great play to pick out Diani. Good intervention from Lily Woodham, who's going to have a tough evening today. So.
Yeah. Again, you have to be realistic. They've got players in this side who are pretty decent and playing for some top sides around Europe, but you've also got players, like Woodham, who are part of a Palace side who have just been relegated. That's a great ball in from Diani just over the head of Mallard. But yeah, you have to be, and I think Wales fans have done that well. They've been brilliantly optimistic and they've put on some superb support, but they're also balancing that with being realistic about their situation.
And what was the stream? It was Matteo who scored. To answer your question, Phil says that stings. I think Wales needed to get to 20 minutes without conceding. Tough route back now. You don't say. I think it's going to be really difficult for Wales.
I think we said at the time when the fixtures came out, for Wales, their nicest fixture was first against Netherlands.
And even then, that's a horrible fixture.
Yeah, that is a horrible fixture. And that's right. I do feel for them slightly, but again, it's about the manner today. If they do dig in now and they only lose 3 or 4, then that's not a horrendous result. If they collapse and end up conceding loads, and that is a poor showing. So it really depends what kind of fight they can now take to France.
On to Fishlock, who manages a squeeze a pass back to Rowe. Options on the left and right. Looks for Fionn Morgan, cut out by Sombaf, and now France can transition. Mallard, Mashri tries to poke one onto Toletti, one back by Holland. Much better play that from Wales. Good attack, didn't quite work out. Counter pressed effectively, won the ball back.
Yeah, well played from Wales. At the end of the day, Rowe made the wrong decision, made the wrong pass, but that happens in football. But yeah, it was a good move.
Not sure it was the wrong decision. She didn't really have any other option. It just didn't quite come off. It was really good from Sombaf. Fionn Morgan trying to get the other side here of Samora. Samora uses her body really well. Pass forward is cut out though. Really good battle here and response really from Wales. Woodham forcing Ndongala back to a goalkeeper Pedro Magnin. And now France playing out from the back. Samora, Sombaf. There's not any further they can be forced back here, France. They're into their own corner. And that one hooked away. Diani's header not good enough. Falls into Welsh possession. Woodham.
But also, again, we spoke about yes, it hasn't come to anything, but the positives of being positive and getting up the pitch. That 5-minute period that I spoke about, where are they going to collapse? Are they not? That's gone by now since they scored, since they conceded.
Well, if you're attacking, you can't be defending.
Yeah, exactly that. That was a 3-4 minute spell where they came forwards and their defence isn't under pressure. Yeah. They haven't conceded again. And that's exactly what they need to do tonight. Just break up those waves of pressure.
Ball in behind. That's a dangerous one. And Holland's going to get there. Can she square it or go alone? Should have squared it. Gets in a Fishlock. Goal for Wales. What a moment. And there's a flag up. And heartbreak.
Who's the flag
What a breakaway from Wales. Just as we have a French viewer, welcome. Pierre Détré Francais, welcome to the stream. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Says, hello everyone, welcome. A good start for France. Almost broken there by Wales, apparently.
Was it
based
Holland?
On Rhian Wilkinson's body language?
Yeah, just off.
Just went too early there.
But what a run, what a ball.
She should have played it across first time. Made a mess of it. Does the Lucy Bronze. Scoops it across to her teammate. Fishlock scores for Wales, but it won't stand.
They can have a look. Of course they are going to have a look.
Yeah, well, unless the...
Wilkinson knows that was offside. I think she looked at it on her tablet.
The same VAR that are doing the France-England game, and they're also not operable, then
But they're going to have a look. They're going to draw the
What
lines.
they could be looking for. And there's no touch for France defender. Holland was
Given.
too early.
It's given. It counts.
Wales have scored. It is the same VAR. They're not biased. They're just useless. There we go. A goal for Wales, and what a moment for the Welsh. They celebrate. They rejoice. There'll be a bank holiday tomorrow in Wales. Their
Wales.
first goal at the European Championships. Jess Fishlock
Who else?
just about tapping it home. Holland broke away well. And France
The Welsh.
done scored by the Welsh. It wasn't pretty, but it's in the back of the net and they all count the same.
I want to see the semi-automated system for this one because
Offside.
Holland looked offside, but maybe she wasn't. But Wales are that level in this game.
Indeed. And that's going to give them energy.
And they're
They're
going
coming
forward.
forwards. And since the offside rule doesn't apply to them, they can just
Oh, no,
attack
that
the
does.
freedom.
That does.
Everything's going to be offside.
Oh, that linesman's put that flag up. Everything that's
Fishlock
done.
is down here, but there's got to be a check because that was offside to the naked eye.
Yeah, I want to see the semi-automated system come in. But
Is it-
what a
Is it
moment!
broken? So it's running
And now
Goal.
it does mean that Poland are still the only side in history to not score a goal in their first two games of the European Championships. But Wales,
It feels like it's Tom Jones, the VAR. Possibly.
even if he's not on it, he's just stood there singing at them, and it's so
Because
wow.
it's the voice. He saw something good, he hit his buzzer.
Spinning around in his chair, having a great time.
Indeed. But yeah, a little confused as to
Here we
how
go then.
that
Let's see the-
stands.
That still doesn't
She's
tell
off-
me.
she's-
I need to see. Yeah, the
she's
angle.
offside.
I mean, maybe the angle's deceiving, but we need to see the semi-automated system.
I want to see an angle that shows her to be onside. Not sure how that's the one they're checking.
No,
Unless that's what they've checked. This is so poor.
surely not.
Well, there's no semi. Where's the semi-automated?
I want
system?
to see the picture.
Well, unless they're having to edit the screenshot now because it shows Holland about a yard offside.
Whoever's been on VAR for Group D has had a fun time so far this tournament.
I mean, if you're watching along, I'd love to get your verdict on that one. Should that have stood?
Wales are stunned.
Even the
by
Wales fans don't think that should have stood, but they'll celebrate.
the fans can't believe it. Here we go then. We're gonna get.
Are we? Well, it's the wrong
Yeah.
end. That's the problem.
So when the
There we
ball's
go.
released. Oh wow!
I did not touch anyone between there.
No. Just on.
Ah.
Played on by Samora's shoulder.
I think the problem, the confusing problem there is that the broadcasters
Took the picture,
have stopped the game too early.
But wait, look at the celebrations. Fair
The
play.
system there rules it on, and that is a fair goal. France won, Wales
That's
won.
job done for Rhian Wilkinson and Wales this tournament. They've gone, they've scored against France, and they're having a great time.
Mission help England here is if they can get a result.
Yeah.
Imagine after losing to France in Matchweek 1, somehow England finished ahead of them.
Because Wales.
It's a way.
And the red wall behind that goal is absolutely loving life.
Have France rested up too much? They're going forwards now. Here's Mallard.
They're going to get in trouble. Oh, France going to get
Oh, my
grouped.
bad. Now across to Somba. Here's Samora. But this is what I spoke about. We spoke in the Wales preview about looking at the fact they didn't really have the quality to compete. I spoke about how if they could just have a moment that really sparks interest from young girls across the nation, that is the important thing. I feel like that's a moment.
I ought to be Jess Fishlock
I feel like Jess Fish. You got your Wales kit, you're ready to go. But that's exactly what they
100%.
need. It's a moment.
Yeah.
It's one where the kids have been allowed to stay up, and a little girl's just seen that moment there and is now inspired to get into the game. That's what's important for Wales at this tournament. They weren't going to go and win the European Championships in their first edition, but if that inspires the next generation of young women in Wales to go and play football, go and try out the sport, that could be big for Wales as future in the in the grand, just in sort of the standing of the game.
Yeah, people will think you don't, but it literally is. So a young girl will watch that, and then on Sunday, suddenly she's got her Jess Fishlock shirt on, got a headband in her hair, and she's out playing for a team on a Sunday. That's exactly what those kind of moments can. from a tactical point of view, brilliant from Rhiannon Wilkinson. Again, dropping Fishlock deeper means that she was there for the cutback rather than being the player who was making the run.
And she wasn't knackered because she's been pressing.
Yeah.
Smart.
And again, we said this. She hasn't got the legs anymore, but if you get the ball to her in the right area...
Exactly, they're using her there as a...
they can't play it again.
They're off down this left-hand side. Here's Fionn Morgan, who'll knock it past Samora, and she'll try and get round to it, pokes it into a central area. Fishlock coming onto it somewhat. And Dongala getting across well.
I think France...
It's a completely different team for Wales now. They're up for it. There's energy. The goal has just reinvigorated them. They're pressing like they never have before. They're working like they never have before.
What is happening right now for France, and the reason we're not mentioning it too much, really, is because you've got players who haven't played too much for the national team, quite young players as well, who got really comfortable at 1-0 up. They've been shocked by a Wales goal, and now they don't know what to do with themselves. Once they settle down again, France will get back on top. But right now, you've got a lot of French players who are thinking, oh my word, what is going on? We are drawing to Wales. But once they settle down and get back into the game, which is what they're doing now, they'll start going forwards and take control once again.
Now it's Mallard looking to try and create an opportunity. Cleared away. Gayoro. Taletti. And that one, not as fair as the last tackle, will be a free kick. Feels like she didn't seem to have finished the pass at that point. Now, this is the problem, yellow card for Jess Fishlock. This is the problem with the semi-automated aspect. It's the fact it's not fully automated. So there's still human input in the sense that they pick what point of the game they want the data to be plotted for. So it's still on the VAR to decide when the pass was played, which it doesn't feel like that should be on the VAR, the player. Sorry, on the person operating it. But obviously they haven't got a system yet that fully automates it.
Yeah.
But that's when you can see a little bit of error. And I'll be intrigued to watch back and see if what you're saying is true, Phil. That pass was later than the screenshot is taken or the moment is captured. But yeah, we'll see. It's clearly had some teaming issues. I think the semi-automated system.
Yeah.
I've not seen it much in the women's game. I think this is only the second major tournament it's been used at, and clearly it's.
I mean, in the Premier League, they couldn't turn it on properly.
Well, that is true.
You know.
Batcher strikes over the bar.
But yeah, that's the thing again.
It's met to tears from the Welsh end.
I love it. They are absolutely up for it. Yeah, this is. Yeah, but again, we speak about that influence moment, but there'll be some people sitting in that crowd, and this will be the best night of their lives.
Oh, absolutely.
Hopefully, they copy the Fishlock goal.
There. It's Craig Bellamy.
He's having a great time.
Yeah.
He's inspired now. Go do something with his life. But yeah, well, Phil said Wales need to get to 20 minutes. They've got to 20 minutes and they are level with France.
You forgot, Phil, that Wales can score.
Yes.
I think everyone did.
Yes.
Ball forwards. And Dongala winning the ball. Gayoro losing it to Fishlock.
Oh,
that's nasty from Gayoro.
I mean, that is a foul and a yellow card. How nothing's been given, I'm shocked.
Definitely a yellow, definitely a foul, yeah. Again, just completely missed by the officials. Phil says they have the ball tech that registers touches, so it shouldn't be too difficult to use both together. True. Not sure there. Why? I assume that decision is correct then, but we'll see. But that one, not from the officials. Not sure how Gayoro had escaped without receiving it.
It was low. There's nothing red card about it, but it is a foul, 100%. But yeah, I think they do have the ball tech, but if they don't use that, then it can become very subjective as to when the last touch was.
Yeah. I forgot there that Fionn Morgan's name has 2 F's at the start of it and thought they'd misprinted her shirt. Just put FF.Morgan. Yeah. So that was a little weird to put both the F's.
Well, this would be a big shame if Fishlock can't continue. But I mean, she's scored a goal, been booked.
And her look-alike in the crowd there is concerned.
There she scored, been booked, been taken out twice. Yeah. What a 23 minutes of Fishlock. Yeah, she does seem to be in a lot of pain here.
Concerning.
This would be a huge miss. And her reaction seems more of frustration more than actual pain. Because I think she knows that this could be the end of her evening, but we'll wait and see.
Well, and ultimately the end of her tournament. And
yes.
She's managed to really carry Wales into this tournament. She's been the shining light throughout it. She scored the goal in this game, and this would be a massive loss if she's forced off her injury here. She's not walking
No.
comfortably at
Yeah,
all.
she's done.
I think that's probably the end of her evening.
Thing is, I'll have a drink now, so she'll be alright.
I saw her.
It's one of those where if she needs to come off, I mean, she's now moaned to the fourth official because it was definitely a foul. But they've got to be smart here. They make the decision quickly because right now Wales are down 10 players. So either she's ready to go or she's not. Because Wales can't afford to have 30, a minute or two where they're down 10 players. And yeah, come back on.
Come forwards. Well, pretty smashed in behind there. And that all bounced.
I think she might, maybe she'll just run on adrenaline until half time.
Yeah, it might be enough. She still looks in discomfort there. Sombath to Letty. So swap, by the way, Sombath and Samora, perhaps fearing that run of Fionn Morgan down that left-hand side that's been, and Kerry Holland's been causing them issues. Just swapping them round, putting Sombath, who's slightly faster, on this left-hand side, and putting Samora over on... I'm sorry, wrong way around. So Sombath comes to the right-hand side, Samora onto the left-hand side.
I think that Bonaday and France have really have underestimated Wales here. I don't think the first goal helped.
7 changes.
Yeah,
though.
7 changes to the strongest 11 that started against England. They scored in the first 7 minutes, and I think they thought, happy days, let's just see this out until full time. We'll call it a day.
He's gone about it the wrong way around, because now, if they don't kill this game off, if they haven't sorted this game out by 60 minutes, he's going to have to bring all those big stars back on again.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to find the gear. Instead, he could have played a fairly rotated side, but still almost the strongest 11, and then take off some of the stars at half time if you're leading. But now they're in a position front, so they're going to have to start fighting in this game.
I think
because they're at the moment it's only a point.
Yeah, for me the midfield changes were weird. I think when you rotate, you have to keep the spine the same, and then just change the odd players here and there.
Yeah.
Like bringing in Mate up front, fine by that. Mallard on the left, I don't mind that either. But I think to take out a centre half, to take out 2 midfielders, and to completely change your front 3 and take your fullbacks out. Well, take your right back out.
I think the full you can change your right back and it's grand, but I guess combined with all the other changes, it's quite heavy. That's the sort of position where you can just make a change at right back and it's fairly seamless. And Dongala hasn't been really
no,
fault, so I wouldn't say.
I mean, this would throw the group wide open.
Oh yeah, this would put them in a position right where if England win and Netherlands win, France are out, which we would have never dreamt of coming into this game.
Or Netherlands win and Wales win, and Netherlands and Wales go through.
Yeah, right. Gretchen in chat saying the only way Jess Fishlock will leave the pitch is in a coffin. Yeah, she's going to fight on in this game. Give her some Lucas aid, she'll get through it. Ball forwards, and Dongala. Diani looking back for Ndongala, but that's overhit and about out of play. For a Wales goal kick, Militant Patel not in a hurry to take this one.
No. And unsurprisingly, because they have made it past the 25-minute mark, closing in half an hour, and at that point they will have their eyes set on half time, which they did in Matchweek 1 when they were level with Netherlands, and they just conceded in that 44th minute. They'll be very mindful to not allow France to retake the lead if they can avoid it.
It's I've said this before a few games this competition, but it's again a really nice colour scheme for the fans.
Yeah.
Not really on the pitch. It's a shame we don't have the red of Wales strike from range from Mallard, and again that's met by jeers of the Wales crowd as that one is up in the stands. I'm sure there have been a few calls of 3 points.
Yeah.
A few calls, a few people chanting how hard you want the goal. And ultimately, a lot of people going, way at the professional footballer.
Oh, the amount of dads that would make jokes about the ball going higher than the Alps across this tournament is ridiculous. And now they're
throwing it back onto the later game. Excellent.
I love it. They are absolutely brilliant.
The
Honestly,
Wales fans.
If they're going to come away with one thing from this tournament, and it is best fans.
The only shame is that that end hasn't seen the goal.
Yeah,
they'll be hoping in the second half Wales can change that.
But I think it was nice in a way because it meant that Fishlock could go over to the bench and celebrate rather than either neglecting our fans or neglecting our squad. But wait until they score at the winner.
Yeah, well, that was only really because of the VAR decision because she'd already made her way back to the subs bench when they allowed it.
Wait until they score the
even
winner.
Wilkinson took one look at the tablet, went,
yeah,
"Oh, that can't stand," and
you could tell.
Then it was given, and she was like, "What?" Started celebrating wildly.
Yeah, I think that's what made it even better because her team, the way she communicated to her team that it was off. But no, VAR had other ideas.
One of those just don't question it situations. Here's Saletti. Now Samora.
France haven't found their groove since the Wales goal.
Might look to change that as she drives into the middle of the pitch, perhaps going a little too far. They does really well to retain that ball. Yeah, well, it's a bit of 50% one, half dozen the other. France aren't moving the ball particularly well, but Wales are making life very difficult for them at the moment. Sat in a low 4-4-2, it's just they're struggling to find passes through. You look at how France took advantage of England. It wasn't through their brilliant passing play, France. It was through taking advantage of England trying to play out from the back and France having a really good out-of-possession system. We haven't seen France have to break a team down yet this time. They didn't break England down at any moment in the game, really. Both the goals came when England weren't settled in their defensive shape. And again tonight, we're not seeing any different. France's goal came from a set piece. So we've not seen France in play move through the gears, get through a team, break through lines of pressure. And so that's the one thing that, that's the big test tonight. If they don't manage to break them down tonight, France, there will be concerns that the England performance was just a fluke. At this rate, Spain have won the Euros because the other contenders, England slipped up in the opener. Germany have been unconvincing, but they have won both their matches. We'll see how Sweden goes, but I think that could be a real
eye-opener.
Yeah, a real rocket back down to earth. And I think, France haven't looked great here. So what do we expect from these? Obviously, moving through the tournament is going to be different, and France could go on to win this game 5-1, and everything I'm saying
that's the thing.
Redundant. But Spain, the only side so far, who people say, they've had it easy, but they've got through those games. Every other team hasn't.
It's what I love about the Euros as to how circumstances and opinions can flop about so quickly.
Ball into the box. Well, if it goes in there, France have won, and it's all fine, isn't it?
Yeah, but there was a point in Group B where Belgium were level with Spain, and it looked like Spain would be under pressure.
Yeah, and then Belgium
on
completely fell apart. Kayleigh Barton, header right, but I think that's the important thing is Spain always find a way.
Yeah,
they always do, and I'm just not sure at the moment any other nation has that, but we'll see.
But it's also finding a way, but convincingly. Because France could find a way tonight and win this game 2-1, but that doesn't show what Spain do when they go and beat... Spain would win this game. I mean, Spain wouldn't be in this position at all. They'd be 7-0 up by now. No. But they do it in convincing fashion, even when they're not their best. Or even when they have moments that, that they struggle with. Another nasty one on Woodham. There's been a lot of moments on Gala. Just catching her late there.
Wales have fought hard.
They have.
They've probably had the toughest group possible, maybe with the exception of if they were with like Spain, England, Sweden or something like that. Just clumsy, really.
Yeah.
Leaves a foot inward and runs into it.
She doesn't actually catch much of her, but it's the force in which she drops the foot, and as the guy's foot smashes towards the floor, it just catches Woodham.
Lily Woodham, part of the Pat side that relegated this season. Do you think we could see her back in the WSL next year?
I mean, before the Euros, I would say no. But I think across this game and the Netherlands game, she looked 10 times better than she did in that Palace side. And of course, that you expect to see that because she's playing with better quality players. But potentially, I think
there's a lot of teams looking for a left back right now. You talk about Liverpool needing a left back. You talk about Aston Villa needing a backup left back. Perhaps London City Lionesses needing a backup left back to Poppy Pattinson. I feel like there's a lot of teams in the league that need a left back right now. Tottenham. I think if they're looking at where they can get maybe a cheap option, I think Lily Woodham's definitely.
And she can play both sides. And Woodham as a capable right back is better than Ash Neville playing football.
But even if it's not becoming as a starter, or even if it is in the case of like a move to Liverpool where they desperately need to replace Taylor Hines.
And I think she'd be good at... Well, it depends how they're going to play. Depends who their manager is.
Well, Gareth Taylor, I think they're going to be really...
I think Woodham would have suited the Matt Beard system because she had a lot of cover on that left wing back side.
Yeah. But she's like come forward, to be fair.
She does. That's true.
Maybe she'd prefer a system that doesn't play, try and sit back all game.
Yeah.
We've only ever seen her play in sides that sit back all game.
Yeah, maybe she'll,
It's one of those where defences are very difficult. Like relegation sides, attackers can stand out as being the only attacker that contributes.
Yeah.
Defenders, it's more difficult to stand out because your defence just concede loads of goals. And stuff like, you don't look at interceptions and clearances and tackles and blocks and stuff because obviously they make a lot more of those because they're always defending. Here is Ndongala. Samora.
Just become really scrappy. Last 5-10 minutes. I think it's not really anything to talk about because France are coming forwards, but the moves are breaking down because they're getting intercepted. And then, unlike what we've seen from other sides, they're not counter pressing to win it heart of the pitch. They're just letting Wales have it.
I think the Germans will be best in more open games against the bigger teams. I think the problem is their play is just too stagnant at the moment. Maybe so. I think they'll maybe switch to a more transitional style against those teams. That might make it more interesting. But if they try and play the way they are at the moment, what's going to happen is they're going to just pass the ball around in a U shape for ages, looking to try and get a ball into the box, and then it won't work. And then that team will look to break away on the counter. And I think if we're looking at potential England-Germany in the quarterfinals, I think England. I would favour England right now.
Wales, that's right.
Yeah, true. They're going all the way, wouldn't? Pass inside.
Really good football.
Into Morgan doesn't quite come off. France will look to break. Diani.
Lily Woodham is currently keeping Diani out of the game.
Yeah.
I never. If you told me I'd say that sentence back in October, I'd have been stunned.
Oh my god, what the?
Yeah.
What can I say? Possibly. Forward comes Toletti. Majri.
That's what I love about the international stage.
Domba. Now Matteo. Toletti. Blocked well. Well, you've got a team here full of Lyon and PSG stars playing against a bunch of WSL Women's Championship and lower WSL players. You've got an NWSL player.
Two NWSL players. So,
there's a few players that are playing at high-ish levels, but none of them are playing for the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
And most of the players on the field are lower tier teams, but yeah, you've got they're fighting against a side full of top tier talent.
You look at this Wales side, you've got tier 2 players, you've got the WSL players who will finish low down the league or relegated. I think there's a James and one other, both at Seattle Reign, who last time I checked were bottom of the NWSL.
Yeah.
So yeah, then as you say, but they're coming in, they're competing with Champions League winners.
Mallard out to the right-hand side. Here's Matchweek looking to make something happen here for France. Ball in towards the back post. Macho was going to go for an overhead kick there. Did pull out of it, but that will be a foul given against her anyway.
So smart. I didn't quite see that is from Wales, but she ducks her head in, know exactly what's going to happen, and immediately appeals.
Morgan, yeah.
Such smart defending. She just thinks, hang on, if I put my head here, then I'm going to get a automatic free kick.
Yeah, Shem Charlie Abbey, welcome to the stream. Thanks for watching. Apparently PSG have already won their Club World Cup semi-final. Phil says Buell and Brand of space ahead of them are really good. Against a low block, they try to beat 3 players to get a shot off. Yeah, that's true. Maybe if they try and play more transitional, which I expect Germany to do in knockout games.
But again,
perhaps it'll work.
Will they get away with just relying on Buell and Brand to get them through the tournament? Is that going to happen? I think obviously they've got other players who can step up, but like Schuler and that have only delivered when they're given service. So again, that service is only going to come through Buell and Brand. And I think that that's a lot of reliance to put onto those players for 2 players to completely dictate your tournament. At the moment, Wales are, as a team, putting on a very good show to give them something to cheer out in their tournament. Milton Patel was down. She's back to her feet and ready to go again. But that's another couple of minutes that is taken out of this game. And they are 7 minutes away from going into half-time level with France. Yeah,
ball forward from Middleton Patel. Trying to flick it on in their row. Launched forwards. Now Sombath finds Ndongala. Pass inside to Toletti and Dongala. And Matteo looking for the flick on. Lovely from Majri. Here's Matteo. Plays the ball through the lines, looking for Melvin Mallard. And Middleton Patel does really well there, coming off her line, narrows the angle and saves the shot wide for a corner.
Oh, I never like a goalkeeper going in with their feet. That is so risky, but it pays off. Just looked like for all the world that she was just going to clatter into Melvin Mallard.
I'm surprised Mallard didn't use that.
But she gets it right, and that is a really good tackle. Yeah, goalkeeper slide tackling is always a risky endeavour.
Surefire way to concede a penalty usually.
Yeah.
Ball now into the box. Trying to get a shot away, France. Mallard flicks up in the air. Falls now for Matchweek over the bar.
Wales have got to deal with corners better. That is the only time that France look incredibly dangerous, is when that ball gets into the box there. It's bouncing around. How is Melvin Mallard here, with her back facing to goal, allowed to take a touch and flick it over her head? You shouldn't be allowed to do that. And it falls to Matchweek, who luckily that time doesn't. Well, it was Matteo the first time, but Matchweek there doesn't volley it into the goal.
And again, that'll get away from the Welsh. 5 minutes.
5 minutes
to survive for Wales to get to half time.
I think if it a win,
potential penalty check
is over.
He's over. Wales are off.
Ooh. I'm sure there was a heart attack for everyone sat in a green, red and yellow bucket hat in the crowd.
Morgan tries to hold the ball up, scrapping away for it. Now France coming forward. It's Majri, Diani. Really good from Holland. Rowe wins the header. Morgan fighting for it. They just seem to have gone to a bit of disarray momentarily there, Wales. Everyone
Diving in.
Went to chase after the ball rather than getting into their shape.
It all started because Woodham, rather than standing up Diani like she has done for the rest of the half, she dived in and that created space, and then people just panicked to try and fill it out, but they did well to recover that. And now they're back into their very low block.
Here is Ndongala. Majri, ball in. Really good claim from Middleton Patel.
That's the thing, you have got a goalkeeper in Middleton Patel who, is around and associated with a top club, which will massively help.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a foul from Batcher.
And
there we go. There's the frustration, and that's the second yellow card of the game, and this one going to Simone Batcher. But there's the frustration showing for France. They've had 41 minutes where it has not gone their way, and they are starting to get a little bit irritated. It is a foul. It is too forceful from Batcher. I don't think she does much wrong in terms of the ball, because she does kind of win it, but it's just too forceful on Barton.
I'm surprised she does avoid the book there.
She didn't. She's been
yellow card there again.
Yeah.
Apologies. Not surprised that she's been booked there.
But again, we saw this from Desiree Grundbacher in her first game. I think she had the Italy game, the Belgium-Italy game, where it was just yellow card after yellow card. It's such a difference in refereeing styles at this tournament.
It's kind of natural to have over the Euros because you get referees from so many different places and different federations. Why has the free kick gone back?
I love that, though.
Oh, almost Middleton Patel giving it away. They've just invited so much pressure on themselves. Why would they make that free kick back?
Well, they wanted to kill the time, didn't they?
But... the line.
Oh. I thought if we go backwards, then Middleton Patel was going to launch it. That would have worked.
What's an unnecessarily dangerous endeavour from Wales' defence? Here's Ndongala.
That was
back towards
flirting with danger.
Yeah.
They're getting too comfortable.
Especially Middleton Patel's pass right next to Diani.
Then whoever it was just leathered it into Matchweek.
Diani now giving it into Ndongala. Can they make something happen here? As half-time approaches, spins Evans well. Matteo goes down on challenge, and that's a penalty. That's diving in there.
Holland.
Kerry Holland, so unnecessary. And that's a penalty. And Matteo does well to win it. Back to goal, spins the defender Evans too easily. And Holland just reacts with a rather reckless tackle. It's only going to go one way. She's running into a crowd of
Evans nearly
players.
gave away penalties first of all, but that is such a silly thing to do.
Silly.
And once again, Wales, 2 minutes out from half-time, may end up behind at the break.
Well, referee here is going to have a chat with a few different France players. Code Laser onto the screen says so far only Spain and Norway are consistent. Norway? Well, consistently awful and fortunate. Maybe. Not consistently good. Spain have been consistent. Even then, they shipped 2 to Belgium. It's just the nature of international football. It's an unpredictable beast. Penalty now for France. This should crush Wales, really. A first half where they fought so hard, and just like the Netherlands game where it was they were cruelly stripped of having it level at the break by a Miedemar stunner. Well, they may be the master of their own downfall here. Holland with a reckless one. And Diani more than likely to convert. Very comfortable from 12 yards. Wales are trying to off-put her by creating a delay. And Diani's been stood there for a while now. You want as little time as possible when you put the ball down to when you step up. Then you want to take a long run up. Diani steps up, takes her time, and it strikes the feet of Middleton Patel, but it rolls in for France. She's gone the right way. She's gone too far the right way. A really poor penalty from Diani, but it's in. And that's all that matters. France 2, Wales 1. Not struck with conviction or with accuracy, but it's in regardless, and a minute of additional time is all we'll be treated to at the end of this first half. Patel just overdives the ball, if anything. Goes right for the corner, and Diani, who was aiming just off centre, almost making a mess of that.
I mean, her frame has really let her down there. You saw. I thought when she was stood in the goal, she didn't look imposing at all. No. It looked so inviting, and there, obviously she can't help it. She wants to get taller, but that's so unlucky.
Turns up back from free kicks with leg extensions.
That's it. 6'3". Well, Diani opens up by Euro's account, and Wales once again just before 6 minutes. Oh well,
they've added 5 minutes.
1 turned to 6.
They went no. We want a Wales goal. Added some chaos. Thank you, UEFA.
So silly from Holland to concede that penalty.
With the throw into the box. Going to fall to the edge. I'm not sure whether they got 6 minutes. There's a VAR check and Fishlock was down for a minute, but
and then the penalty. I think that's why it was 1. I mean, the penalty. I don't know why they had on 5. No, I think 1 was probably just wrong.
1 would have been felt almost right. His end on guard.
No, not with no. Just no. I
don't know. I just didn't feel like that.
6 is a lot. 6 is too much. Where they got 6 from? I just want Wales goals.
Batcher down the left-hand side. Mallard, Gaioro. One back by Wales. Cannons off of a France defender. I don't know why Middleton Patel has kept that in.
Taking no chances. I don't mind that. The worst feeling is if she leaves it there and it turns out it's a corner.
And they can see it again.
Yeah.
Because they haven't defended corners particularly well. Middleton Patel sending it long again. Flick on well in there to Jess Fishlock. Lifting it down the line. Morgan will give chase. Sombach. She allowed Phil Morgan just to creep in there and get a touch. It will be a corner.
Sombach
eventually had to take it away, yeah.
And now Wales have got a chance to threaten from a dead ball. But I tell you what, they are fighting in this game, Wales. They are giving it everything.
They went down without much of a fight, but this game they've certainly given their all.
They've gone for it. I genuinely think if they played like this against Netherlands, they might have got something from the game.
A bit like Poland, really, isn't it? They went for it in the Germany game. They tailed off in the Sweden game, and then they ended up losing
but to be honest,
by a bigger margin.
To be honest, I think Wales probably would have gone into half-time 1-0 up against Netherlands. Netherlands might have turned it around, but I think they definitely led.
Ball into the box. Headed away. Rowe will meet it on the edge. Not sure what she was attempting to do with that. Didn't work though. It's going to fall to Middleton Patel. Try and get this move going with Holland now on the right-hand side. Green down the line into Fionn Morgan. Knocks it past the defender. Tries to then run around her. That's an ambitious move.
It's the confidence though. It's the confidence for Morgan to try and take that on. She backs herself, and Wales are playing with confidence, which is exactly what they lacked.
Well, she knows it works. She gets a viral TikTok out of it.
That is true.
Now she's got more of a presence on social media than she does on the pitch a lot of the time, Phil Morgan. a hilarious content creator and a decent player, but that was one for the cameras, one for the replays that had come off. Coming forwards now, Matchweek, good tackle, going to drop in there for Mallard, and now France, I think, just going to take the sting out of this half a little bit. Sombath. Now across to Toletti. We'll let that run to Batcher. Toletti again. And now Samora. Sombath. And Dongala, poor pass. And Wales now with a minute and a half to try and push forward again.
Yeah. Again, they want to end the half strong, but it's all about managing and making sure they don't end the half 3-1 down. Because at that point, they would probably be out of the game. Flipped around the corner by Holland. Well held up. They have lost it now. And France looking. A third goal for France now, I think, would really put them in a commanding position going into the break. Big minute now for both sides. Wales just need to hold in there, hang on, and make sure they've got something to work with going into the second half.
Yeah. Ndongala throws it into Matteo. Really good hold up. Ndongala, Diani. Nice exchange. There's a foul in there. I think it was Holland there who caught Ndongala.
Another silly one, unnecessary. She's already played the ball. And yeah, it will be a conversation at the very least.
It was when she tried to make the run forwards again.
That's a clumsy one to give away. Because the ball didn't go to her in the end. The ball went to a different French player.
Now, to be fair, it would have been hard for Diana to pass it to her. She was on the floor.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, has Holland avoided the book? I'm very surprised.
Somehow she's conceded a penalty and smashed into Ndongala off the ball there and avoided a caution.
Well, this will be the last chance of the half then. France looking to extend their advantage to 2.
Here's Batcher. Ndongala. Batcher. Creates a little bit of space. Will deliver the ball in towards the back post. Looking for the run of Melvin Mallard. Headed away well. Good first contact from Katie Barton. And that is half-time here in St Gallen, I believe. Yes. France 2, Wales 1. A first half where France struggled, stuttered, but they have got into the break with the advantage. Wales had a moment of jubilation as Jess Fishlock tapped home a goal, but alas, it wasn't to be for Wales yet. They fought hard, but at half-time it's France 2, Wales 1.
Not bad at all from Wales. They've fought hard, and as you say, they've come away with something with this Euros. It's a goal, and it's a Jess Fishlock goal, and it gave the fans something to cheer. And again, without the penalty there on the stroke of half time, you feel they would have gone into break at 1 apiece, and that would be frustrating. I think it'll be frustrating. Both goals will be frustrating. Initially, to concede so early into the game. Yes, they responded brilliantly and went and equalised, but I think when you are against these bigger sides, the main aim is to make sure that you don't, nothing silly, shut up shops for the first 10, 15 minutes. So to concede in the 8th minute will be disappointing, but the response 5 minutes later was thoroughly impressive, and credit to them because they dug in and they hit back immediately and caused France a lot of issues. And then, as I say, to concede that penalty, and especially it was a silly one to give away from Holland. And then the fact that Middleton Patel got her feet to it but couldn't keep it out will be even more disappointing. That Wales didn't manage to get to half time, still either still level, but they're in the game, and that's the main thing. We said the same against Netherlands, and then it ran away from them in the second half. But at the end of the day, the fact that they've played France and Netherlands so far, and at half time of both the games, they've still been in it. It is a testament to the performances they put on in both first halves. Now the big test comes of what can they do in that second 45 to make sure that it isn't just a routine victory for the French.
Yes, it's a situation where Wales understand that today they're not going to be able to outplay France, and they've not got the technical ability that France have. But what they can do is play to their strengths and try and limit France's strengths. So how they've done that is by being able to. I mean, they immediately looked to play much more direct in this game when they came forwards, and this has offered them periods of relief that we just didn't see in the game against the Netherlands. A lot of the time they would just aimlessly lump it forwards, and Fishlock wouldn't really be able to latch onto it. But instead, the balls would have been much more much more purposeful, looking to try and find the runs in behind of Phil Morgan or Kerry Holland, and that's what the goal came from, was a really well-timed bit of movement from Kerry Holland, bursting into the space in behind the France defence. France playing a really high line, and Wales wanted to exploit that, and they exploited it so well. They dragged players onto the right-hand side, they came down the left, they knocked the ball in behind where Holland was isolated one-on-one with the defender, made a really well-timed run, and broke in behind. Now, after that, I think she made it hard work for herself. She should have squared it across that first time. Ended up falling over and scraping it across the penalty area. It fell to just Fishlock though, and she just about got it over the line. And that was a really important moment for Wales. They really played into their strengths there and exploited France having a right-hand side that perhaps lacked a little bit of pace compared to the left-hand side, and exploited France playing a really high line without the consideration that Wales would look to be a very counter-attacking team in this game, a very transitional team. The other thing, Wales counter-pressing is really strong. I think whenever they've lost the ball high at the field, they then go and try and fight for it. What we've seen from them in the Netherlands game was them dropping off or just chasing it aimlessly, but it's been a much more organised and structured, aggressive counter-press. That's been really good to see. Why haven't France, Harry, found it easy to break down Wales? Why have they struggled to create opportunities? If we take a look at the stats from that first half, France only 8 shots in total, 3 on target. Why have they struggled then so much?
I think a bit again. It's the best of both worlds. It's a bit of both. I think credit to Wales because the box defending has been much sharper. I think although defending from corners has been really poor, actually getting out to wide areas, stopping the crosses coming in, and when the crosses have come in, it has been a Wales shirt getting there first. So I think credit to Wales because they've been much better defending their own 18-yard box. But also for France, I think it's been a little bit lacklustre. And again, this is what you get when you make 7 changes to your starting 11. I thought Diani, before she scored the penalty, had barely touched the ball, and Lily Wood and Maketa are really quiet. I think that Mater obviously scored a well-taken goal, but again, we didn't see much of her actually getting the ball in open play because Wales defended that box really well. But they haven't. What we saw in the England game was how the likes of Karchawi were really unlocking the England defence and making those runs beyond, but also finding the passes through. And without her today, I think in that midfield, Madri, again, hasn't been that creative. Gaioro has done her job, exactly what we expect to see from her. And just overall, and again, Tilletti is very defensive and isn't going to contribute much in the final third. So I just think
good
France,
metronome, but what they had Morin and Jean-Francois was someone who wanted to play it forwards a bit with a bit more urgency. I think as well, it's this setup has lost a lot of the fluidity that made them so dangerous against England. We've seen a much more structured, much more rigid looking setup rather than what we saw in the England game, which is players floating around the pitch. And again, not having Karchawi in makes an impact. Batch has not had quite as much attacking licence, I don't think. So yeah, we've not seen them come forwards and look quite as dangerous as they did before. But yeah, overall though, I think France will be happy that they're in at the break 2-1. I think we look into the second half, and as much as I'd love to say Wales are going to keep this up, I think eventually France will find their way through.
Yeah, they'll make changes, France, and they'll probably, as you say, end up winning this match by I don't think they'll win it by an absolute mile, but I think they'll probably win it by a decent margin, 4-5-1 maybe. But Wales, I think that 45 minutes will be good enough for all the Welsh fans to be happy with what they've seen at this tournament. Yeah. They scored a goal against France.
Look at the time of the run. Again there. Brilliant from Kerry Holland. I'm going to go grab drinks, that's all right.
Holland's done very well there. I think it's a great ball, really good ball from Woodham into the space. Holland's run is absolutely brilliant. And she makes a meal of it with Undongala. But again, she managed to get the second flick. Fishlock just about pokes it home. And I mean, that replay would suggest that Holland was quite far onside. I certainly don't think it was was that far, but VAR gave it, and Wales scored, and a massive moment for them, a huge moment for Fishlock as well, for her to get a goal at this tournament and to be the one, at 38 years old, a massive leader in that Wales team, for her to get the goal, I think is a very poignant moment for her. And if Wales are to get to more tournaments, I don't think that Jess Fishlock will be a part of them. As I say, she's 38 now, she'll be 40 by the time that the next World Cup runs around. So I think this is probably a really good tournament and a really good moment for Fishlock to kind of, not, I don't want to say end her career, because she might not retire after this Euros, but I think it shows that she's still got that quality, but that will be her last major moment in a Wales shirt. Well, here, one of the streams says Wales will come back. I mean, it will take something. It will definitely take something. But who knows? They did it in the first half. Maybe they can do it in the second half. But I just think that France now will probably make changes and will probably win this game pretty convincingly. Kevin asks, what will be the best result for England going forwards? Well, from this game, I think that in terms of, if England want to top the group, then they need Wales to win, and then that would put every single side onto 3 points, and then it would need England to win and Netherlands to win on Sunday. But realistically, I think that a Wales result benefits England massively. Obviously, it would mean that Wales would be still alive, so they'd probably be up for the fight more against England in Matchweek 3. But I think from an England point of view, it would just be about hoping that Wales, maybe if Wales get something from the second half, that'd be brilliant. But overall, France should win this game. They'll go clear, and then it would just be a straight shootout between England and Netherlands for second spot, which obviously you always want to top the group. But I think that with the way the draw works, England would actually go on. If England finish second, they'd actually end up on the better side of the draw. So it may advance. England would dodge France and Spain if they finish on the opposite side of the draw, which would be pretty big. Yes, it would mean a tie against Germany or Sweden, which isn't very nice. But I think that it actually finishing second could potentially benefit England. So overall, I think England have just got to focus on beating Wales, because if we do that on Sunday, then it won't matter what happens elsewhere. Ryan Taylor on the screen says, with a third of group stage games left so far, the highest combined attendance for Women's Euros 25 is 287,483. That is huge. Great to see that the growth of the game, and again, the fact that it's doing so well when it isn't in a again, no offense to Switzerland, but compared to the sizes of the stadiums that we saw in England in Euro 2022, the fact that Switzerland is seeing massive growth is great to see. I think the support for the home nation has been absolutely superb to see it in their 2 games so far. And for us, it's been a really good tournament. This today, I think we worked out, is our 16th game, and with 11 more games to go after this one, 11 more streams for us, which has been a great tournament. But make sure to keep subscribing and keep joining us for the next 11 games. Cody Laser says, if England is top of the group, they will face Spain. In the semi-finals, yes. In the quarter-final, no. It would be one of Germany or Sweden, whoever finishes second in Group C, which is why I think that... But you're right. England... as you say, England would meet Spain in the semi-finals, which I think, from an England point of view, we want to avoid at all costs, and then just hopefully someone else will knock them out. So maybe finishing second for England would benefit them more than finishing top. And obviously, in order to finish second, it is going to take Wales to get a result out of tonight and to turn this game around. For Wales, a point tonight keeps them in it, and that's the way they'll look at it. If they can if they win, then suddenly everyone's level on 3, and that would massively open up the group. But the chance of them scoring 2 goals without reply against France seems very, very unlikely. But yeah, who knows? Football is football sometimes, and we could see 45 minutes where Wales turn this around, and it is the best game of the European Championships.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
That would be
Don't see it
fun.
happen in person,
I don't see it
yeah.
happening, but you never know. Football is football sometimes.
Exactly. Unpredictable sport. Very unpredictable. Phil says Spain 100% they've been the better team in response to Kev asking, who do you think are the strongest team so far from what you've seen?
Spain.
Yeah.
Has to be Spain. It's a shame. Again, England, as we said earlier, England have faltered. France haven't looked brilliant today. Germany have not been great.
Sweden
have looked good.
Really
Sweden have looked very good, but do I think they can take the fight to Spain on their... Well, maybe, but it will take a lot. But that's the thing, I think that it's difficult in the group stage because it never goes as planned for all the sides. And France, they've looked shaky tonight, but if they win it, they're still on for 9 points out of 9.
And well, that's the thing. You look at Spain's group, and none of them are of comparable quality. England so far have faced France and then the Netherlands, who are two really strong sides. We'll see Germany take on Sweden, which will be a really tough test. Spain have had Portugal and Belgium, two sides who they've played so many times over the last year in the Nations League and in qualifiers in the case of Belgium, that they know them really well. So winning 5-0 and 6-2 shouldn't come as much as a surprise. Italy will be more of a test, probably, though they'll rotate slightly and still win that game. So, I still don't think Spain will have been tested before they get to the knockout stages, which could also have an impact. The fact that they'll go in and probably face... Well, it depends on who they face, but they'll probably end up facing Switzerland or Finland. Which is going to be a fairly easier game again, which is typical for Spain.
Yeah,
but...
I think if they get Switzerland, that could be I'm not saying they'll lose, but it could be difficult. The fact that you're playing the hosts, they're not going to make it easy for you. Well, you'd like to think not.
But my point is that they could get to France in the semi-finals, and France have come for a run of England, Netherlands, Wales, and let's say Germany or Sweden. Yeah, that could be an incredibly difficult run. If France have got through that, I think they'd be in a better position to take on Spain, where Spain haven't played any of those top sides. So actually having that test earlier in the tournament, while it could knock you out, is probably a better test of your mettle and better test of your character going forwards. On the flip side, France are probably going to have to play quite strong sides in all of their games to be able to win them. Spain will probably rotate against Italy, and have already rotated because of injuries and stuff. France will get us back underway. Equally, France have played a completely different team here. So, there you go. And it'll be Gayoro from the middle waiting for the referee's whistle. The referee's not been urgent to get this game
underway. She's on a walk again, isn't she?
Yeah. I think she's predicting France to break away quite quickly, which is why she's gone into the Wales half. Gayoro knocks it back, and we're back underway in this one. Half-time 2-1 to France. France looking to see this out and all but confirm themselves a place in the quarterfinals. Wales desperately need a goal to have any chance of progression. As it stands, they would be out of the Euros. So France moving the ball round the back. Samora. Nigel says it would love to see Wales get another equaliser. It would be a huge moment for Wales if they could do that. Ndongala breaking down this right-hand side well one back in there by James. And now they could look to break away. Here's Jess Fishlock. Ndongala chasing her down. Fishlock just realising she probably wasn't going to win that foot race. Tries to make a pass through to Fionn Morgan. One back in there by Sombath. And that is knocked off by Wales. Playing out for a France throw. Kev says next goal wins, in my humble opinion. That'd be good. That would give France a chance. Wales a chance.
I was say, if France score the next goal, then I think you're 100% right. If Wales score the next goal, then I think it would take something.
Yeah.
But again, as I said at half time there, even a Wales point would throw this group wide open and keep the Welsh in the tournament.
Well, yeah, exactly. And Nigel asks, missed the first half, who's been the best player on the pitch?
Great question.
Probably Sombath. Still?
Yeah.
I mean, we've not seen much from Batcher in this game. Gayoro's just done what we'd expect from Gayoro.
No one's really stood out.
Matteo, goal and created a penalty. Both good bits of movement.
Probably.
A good strike for the goal as well.
But that's the thing. France has scored a corner and a penalty, and Wales, although Fishlock finished it off, it's very much about the team performance, and everyone's dug deep. I couldn't separate either, from any Wales players from each other because they've all played well. So it's difficult.
Kev says Wales need to press higher. I actually quite like the way they've set up over the mid-block. But by actually sitting a little, not into a low block, so a low block will be right back in their defensive third, but instead sitting in a mid block, so they're slightly higher, but still trying to be defensive. Really good claim there from Milton Patel. Not a good ball in from Mallard.
They've found that Poland balance that Poland had, where they're deep, but they do spring forward when they get the opportunity.
The problem is Wales don't have the physicality to be able to compete with France for 90 minutes, so pressing aggressively would be really difficult. It relies then on turning the ball over and being able to break away quickly. Instead, what Wales have done is when they're attacking and they lose the ball, they then press quite aggressively in a counter press. But when France are just settled in possession, Wales just sit in a mid block, because what they're encouraging France to do there, what France want Wales to do is to press them aggressively, be baited in, and then France play a few quick passes, a nice combination, they break through those lines. By sitting off, they make France do the work, they make France answer the questions. Rather than play into their hands. So they've made life quite difficult so far. It's why we've seen France struggle to break out from the back at the moment. Here's Fionn Morgan. Nice hold up. Moves the ball into Kerry Holland. Holland tries to burst past Ndongala. One back in there by France, and now they will break away. Matteo, good hold up. Finds Diani.
I love that burst from Holland, although it didn't come off. Really smart. Because that was so easy, could have been a penalty, but it was actually a really well timed tackle from back.
Great battle in there from James. And much the frustration there of the France players. That will be a free kick to Wales.
Yeah, well...
Matchweek just bringing her down.
Oh, blimey.
So now chance of Wales to fill the box. Try and make life difficult for France again.
Just got to get this in the corner of uncertainty and hope that someone in a mint green shirt is getting on the end of it.
Yeah.
It's a long conversation between Holland and Woodham, and Woodham seemed very surprised at what Holland wanted to do there.
Well, referee's going to have a conversation here. Again, we've seen this.
I think she was just telling Morgan that you're offside, right? Which is pointless because players do that on purpose.
Yeah, not sure why. Just reminding players of the rules there. Ball into the box. Fishlock tries to flick it on. It falls back for her. Just can't quite get her feet in order. Can't quite bring the ball down and make something happen. Now France will try and break away. Diani shifts to Madri. Gayora making the run on the far side. Lovely switch of the play. Morgan can't get there. Milton Patel, brave goalkeeping, comes out well and claims it.
I have to say, I think she was unlucky for the penalty, Milton Patel, and overall looked much more convincing.
Yeah, there's a big question as to why she didn't start the opener.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Clark was anywhere near
no
anything for Netherlands.
You've got Milton Patel, who has been a backup and a third choice at a top club for the last couple of years. It trains in that kind of environment, professional environment. Probably, I think she's got a cut cameo now and again. I can't remember now.
But it's not like Clark's played loads. So, they had a starting goalkeeper, but Clark's at Leicester. And she's not played at all when Lisa Kopp and Janina Leipzig were there. Obviously, Kopp's now gone to Tottenham, but she's still not got in over Janina Leipzig. So,
and she won't.
No time soon. Leipzig, great goalkeeper. Can't even break the Germany team. Anna Marmatovic and obviously a starting Ann-Katrine Berger have that on lock. And that's without mentioning Merle Firms.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult thing to be a goalkeeper of a top nation because it's very hard to get
like
in.
Germany on the men's side, where you've got Marc-Andre ter Stegen, who hasn't had an opportunity because Manuel Neuer's had that position down for years. It's very similar. Marmatovic has come through, been excellent at Bayern, but can't usurp Berger from the role. Yeah. Same for England would have been if Wiegman didn't decide to change it up. Could have kept hold of that position for this tournament, perhaps next tournament, perhaps beyond that even. Goalkeepers can play to quite an old age, but yeah.
But what's happening here, by the way, is exactly what you mentioned happening. Is that France haven't got the game done, and resting the players is going to prove to be pointless because they're going to have to bring on the big guns to see this through. And they are winning, and they could score soon.
Yeah, I was going to say they might be all right. It's only really if it was level that they'd have to throw players on to chase a goal.
Especially if Wales go. I think this is where it's also difficult for Wales because you can sit here and go Wales will go for it because they need to point to get. But I think Wales, if they go for it too hard, that will just play into France's hand. Milton Patel, what is she doing?
Matteo wins out the pitch, knocks it back. Madrid scores, and that's game, set, match. You feel now for France. Overplaying out from the back were the Welsh. Great pressure. Matteo wins it back, knocks it to Madrid, who coolly dispatches of the chance. And Milton Patel will rue that one.
Just as we praised her as well. We haven't seen that yet this tournament. I thought we'd have seen it a little bit more. Goalkeeper's just standing on the ball and taking too long. And now...
Chowing's not even on the pitch getting involved in the celebration there.
That's really silly. I spoke about her experience at a top club and being in a professional environment.
Just get rid.
No idea.
Get rid.
Oh.
Even then, jump on the ball, do something.
There's no reason for her to take that. That's what even if she was under pressure, I'd be stunned as to why she's taken that long. And then why she faked to clear it. Just a complete mess. And then she doesn't reset properly. Just, what a silly thing to do.
There, get right back on your line as quickly as possible. Instead, she just sits in that no man's land bit. And, well, Madrid finishing it off. And, well, France now, not really anything to worry about. Now, look for subs. I'll probably get someone like Kelly Gargo involved here.
The tea celebration between Madrid and Karchaoui.
I wonder what the tea is behind that.
Running it back to USA 2019. Was it 2019 they did that?
Probably.
Beat England in the semi-finals, didn't they? And they celebrated by drinking tea.
Not sure why France are doing it.
No. Might not be related to
Wales. They don't drink tea.
They got the wrong idea.
It would have been weird if they did the sheep shaggers one, though, wouldn't it? That would have been weird.
It was going to happen at some point. We couldn't sit here for 90 minutes.
Well, no, that's the common stereotype in the same way the British drink tea. But that would have been a weirder celebration from Wales. So.
That would have. I'm not sure how France would have demonstrated that.
No, I'm glad they didn't try. But yeah, Milton Patel should have dealt with that one back.
And I think there'll be frustration now in the Wales camp because that's just ruined any chance of really making a game of it.
Toletti. Can France break down the left-hand side, ball in from Batcher, well claimed.
So annoying that she's done that, made that error because she's been very capable throughout the rest of the match.
Nigel says, was it that Alex Morgan celebration? To which Code Lazy says, yeah.
Yeah. Forever remember. We'll get revenge one day.
Yeah, but what are we going to do? What, something with guns? It's a bit too insensitive, isn't it? Like the T one feels fairly innocent. The stereotypes about other countries.
I don't know. Let's beat them.
I failed to point at a map.
Think that Iran's in Europe.
Well, with a throw on this near side. Can't feel getting in the way of the camera there. It's a weird camera angle anyway, to be fair.
Just filming the back of Morgan's head. Can Wales find something to kick them in, start them into life?
Morgan. Cut out by Batcher. Arlo plays, welcome to the stream, says hi. Welcome. Nigel says, trying to delete that game out of my memory because Steph Houghton missed a penalty. Yeah, that's tough.
Was that still Phil Neville era? No.
2019?
That was after Neville, wasn't it?
Must have been.
Yeah, no, it was.
Must have been Phil Neville, right?
What a manager. What a manager the Nevilles were.
I think they combined might be the worst manager ever.
Imagine they should have done it like the Cowley brothers. Imagine that. Oh dear. France are just in control now. They're not coming forwards. They're not being aggressive. They're just dictating this game. Mallard round the corner to Batcher, out for a Wales throw.
Yeah, it was Phil Neville.
Phil Neville got us to the last four of a World Cup. How did he do that? I'll never know.
We managed 35 matches.
35 games. Oh dear. But now we've got Serena.
Only 4 coaches have done more in England women's history. We need another coach just so he's outside the top 5.
Yeah,
It's long
nice
as
and
raining.
knocking
There's Mallard. One high at the pitch. Holland. Can she get a shot away? Lovely footwork from Kerry Holland. Almost squeezes one home. Just wide and out for a goal kick, I believe.
Thought Wales were going to have another goal. But just not to be. Silly for
Mallard
Mallard.
overplaying. Almost costing us 5 a goal.
I think Holland does well in the end, but she should shoot earlier. She should really shoot earlier. Here, touch, bang, then bang. Then she had so many opportunities to shoot and just didn't take any of them.
Yeah. Phil says that Phil never wasted a really good team. Surprised Phil not standing up for his namesake there.
I think that's the problem with Ertzway because Phil never picked her.
Yeah, came in under Wiegman.
And that was the problem, is that's why the Ertz thing, because it's not like she had a really long stint and then was replaced.
Yeah.
She only got a couple of years.
But I thought her reaction to being dropped was a bit of a disrespect to Wiegman, who selected her, brought her
I
into
think her frustration should be more that Phil Neville was an idiot and didn't pick her.
Yeah.
Not an idiot. That's all. He did at the end. He got us the last 4 World Cup.
But he had a brilliant team.
He did.
It's worth saying. France coming forwards. Batcher. Rowe brought down. Free kick Wales.
Yeah, that third goal will frustrate Wales even more, especially the fact that Holland's just gone close. Shows they're still in this game. Kelly Gargo, readying herself for France.
Yeah, as I thought. No, they want to make changes and rotate players, but not use any of their starters.
And she will come on and bully a tiring defence.
Well, exactly. And they can give one of their forward players, who's already had a rest of this tournament, a bit more rest. In fact, maybe in midfield, they may take off Gayora.
Yeah,
actually.
maybe.
Because they don't need to worry too much about being defensively solid. I mean, Mallard just played Holland through and they still couldn't score Wales. Yeah. France seems to be out of sight now.
Yeah.
Code Lazy says, France seem not to worry about goal difference and they are confident to beat Netherlands in the final game, or maybe they just don't want to be the top one. I think they want to top the group, make a statement. I think ultimately goal difference shouldn't matter. Ball into the box from Mallard. Netherlands took such a dent today.
Yeah,
And they'll have to beat France by 2 clear goals.
yeah. I think France can know they can just, at this rate, they can just draw to get through. And I think
Or even lose 2-1. They can't go out if they lose 2-1 to Netherlands.
they can't be jumped by England.
They can't be jumped by
They can't
Netherlands.
be jumped by Netherlands, yeah.
Oh, would go
Head to head, it'd go head, yeah.
first, wouldn't it? But if Netherlands are also on 6 points, head to head doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
It all comes down to goal difference.
France know they just have a draw, and the way Netherlands play today, I think France will probably win that game by more
France
than
have
they're
been
currently
back in
winning.
their starters. So.
Yeah. And I think they could tear
We
Netherlands
only have
apart.
to see how Netherlands got on today against England.
Yeah.
Fairly lacklustre. I'd love to see Netherlands win and somehow England top the group, or somehow England.
But as I said, though, I think top in the, being second in the group could be a blessing in disguise.
True, it puts us on the nicer side of the draw, doesn't it? It gets us away from Spain till the final.
And that is the one team we'll avoid. I will take any team if it means we don't play Spain
I
to the
think
final.
France could knock them out, and then if we place France in the final, it could be a lovely bit of poetic
Yeah.
tournament history where we beat them, and then we get immediate revenge. And then we can eat a croissant celebration.
Yeah, so France is easier to do.
Yeah, it's not difficult to mime.
Wales, by the way, still haven't completed 100 passes in an hour of football. They need 2 more. Can they get 2 more next half an hour?
Yeah, France have had 72% possession.
But they're only 3-1 up.
Second half, 75%.
Wow.
But Wales have had more shots and created more XG.
They'll be so frustrated that Milton Patel handed them that chance, because without that, France would have had a shot.
No, they just had the ball. But they're not really focused on trying to come forwards.
They haven't, no.
Here's Matchweek. Gayora. Out to the left-hand side. Samabacha. Gearing up for a strike from distance and decides against it. Feels as I think Netherlands will beat France. Phil is having a good time, I think.
Yeah.
Here comes Endon Gala. We'll see what happens, Phil.
Yeah, we've seen some wacky predictions from Phil across the tournament. Nearly got the England there, to be fair.
That's 5-0.
Yeah,
Now back to Netherlands to beat France. Just all over the
make it make sense, Phil.
Here's Batcher. If we want to win, I think we will have to beat Spain at some point. Well, that might get them earlier.
I don't know.
Am I hoping that someone else will do it for us?
Yeah. But
Like
then we can still laugh and say that we're better than Spain.
The last European Championships I watched, Switzerland.
What a
another defensive error from Wales, and that's 4-1 France. It's just upsetting the manner in which it's fallen apart tonight for Wales. Because the Netherlands game, they were subpar, deserved to get battered. This game, they played well, and it's just been some really sloppy mistakes.
I mean, it's Middleton at the moment. I'm sorry, but I don't want to. But it's at the moment in this second half, it's Wales 0, Middleton Patel 2.
So Diani's just slotted in behind here, really well timed bit of movement. Evans, I don't think does enough here. Just started putting the ball into the box, and then comes to claim it and misses the ball.
She's come so far. Oh no, she's misreads it completely. Oh, that is just finest kneading by Guyoro.
Yeah. Not the most glorious of goals.
Oh, that's a shocker. That is a bit of a goal-kicking blunder. And again, a shame.
Second half. She had a really good game first half. Second half is still gone to put.
Was unlucky for the penalty. And yeah.
Double change for Wales, a change for France as well. Kaylee Barton coming off. Hannah Kane will go on, and I think it's Roberts into the back line as well.
Wales want to keep this as it is now. I mean, it's a long way to go. 26 minutes without conceding another. But yeah, 4-1 for me. 4-1 doesn't represent how this game's played. 5-1 would really flatter France.
Yeah.
Double change for France as well then. That is Gargo, and that is... I didn't see who the player was.
Bergoad, I think.
And France are not allowed to make their changes. Okay.
I think because they made an amendment there because Gargo's been warming up and getting ready for ages, and then they've decided because it's been so long, they're now going to make a double change. Ball in behind for a Matchweek, and because they've scored again.
Yes.
And that is well seen out there by Rowe. Well, I think Wales will be frustrated they let this one get out of hand.
100%. They had an opportunity to make it 2-2. Then they had an opportunity at 2-1 to make it 2-2. They had an opportunity at 3-1 to make it 3-2. And now some blunders see them 4-1 down.
Now the change is coming though, and it is going to be Gargo. Oh, we'll have to have a look. Gargo and Bergoa on for Batcher. And I would assume Grace Gayoro.
It's number 9, whoever that is.
No, not Grace Gayoro. Then I think it's Melvin Mallard.
Yes.
Indeed.
Bit quiet from Mallard. Didn't really do much. Put Che Hodden on goal.
No, she scored just before the tournament. Remember, she scored a hat-trick, didn't she, against Belgium? And there were people online saying, "Oh, is she going to start for France?" I thought, no, but she could quite a bit off the bench.
Nah,
Just hasn't really. But yeah, it's a shame. In terms of play, she hasn't really shone tonight. Diani, her usual quality self, lucky to get an assist there, but she got one. Matteo looked really sharp actually as a forward option, though. Usurping Katoto it is a very difficult ask.
Oh, that's not... Yeah, when you've got the likes of Baltimore, Katoto waiting in the wings, you're just not going to get involved.
Diani may well start, to be fair, against the Netherlands. I mean, I'd be sure that Baltimore and Katoto will come back into the side. Casper and Diani's are really close one anyway. If anything, Diani's the better player. So, yeah, I could see that one swapping back round. Cascarino is very much used to target Jess Carter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they'll look to do the same against Brooks. They much want Diani for a quality. She's come forwards now. And Ongala back to Sombath Samura. Really enjoying watching Tedeschi pull into this left defensive space. I think that's something they've been trying to do with Jean-Francois.
Yeah.
And then Tedeschi looking to do the same. It's really nice. They just create that back three without having to have, fullback sit deeper. So you can have a bit more of an overload in wide areas, and because France's midfielders, usually Gayora and Karchawi, are both capable of going both ways. It's not, you don't lack too much solidity. England tried to do the same with Walsh, but she was dropping between the two centre backs. And then the midfield, though, you've got or at least France, you had Lauren James, you had Georgia Stanway, and both looked really leggy, come back from long-term injuries. And Lauren James is very much an attacking midfielder, so they sort of just had a huge gulf of players in midfield. Bergerath. Cross now to Samora, now Sombath. And Nongala, back to Sombath. Now Samora. Yeah, guys in chat talking about hopefully Middleton Patel isn't knocked of confidence from this young goalkeeper.
Because, she'll feel like she should have saved the penalty, and she has been at fault for the last 2 goals. And but no, talented. The fact she's here, she on this stage and starting for Wales, shows the quality she has.
In behind, Gayoro to Matteo, big save, pounds it back into danger, cleared away though.
That's what she needed.
Now Hannah Kane.
She did a good save.
Yeah.
And she's got one.
2 hours leading the goal.
Yeah. And a penalty that probably should have saved.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Bit more treating her harshly as well. She's got a lower rating than Cal the Dragon got in the sideband match.
Really?
I think so. I think they amended the side one once they weren't. Because he had like a 0.9 at one point, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, that would be harsh.
3.4 from Patel.
Not been great, is it?
To be fair though, Lucy Bronze, experienced veteran, 4.8 against France.
God, she was bad.
Here is Pero Magni. Somba, Taletti. I mean, ratings aren't always the best way anyway to determine performance. No. But they do give you a good indication.
I think,
3.5 now.
There we go. We're now Patel rating watch. Hopefully she can get up to the least.
She needs about another 20 saves and she might get back onto an orange.
Oh no, let's get up to 4.
Okay.
Positivity. It's a horrible job. I really couldn't imagine being a horrible task to be a goalkeeper for a side of Wales' quality.
Yeah. True. Gargo bursts into the box.
And that's the thing. Again,
get a corner.
I spoke about how when you compare Wales and Poland have that lead player, that danger player who can make that top player, world class quality, but also goalkeeper. And it had to have an established, young, talented WSL starting goalkeeper is absolutely massive. I think Shemik's probably one of the best goalkeepers in this tournament. I mean, I think we've seen some brilliant.
Not too young to be fair, but definitely established.
But I think she's definitely up there. Although I have been surprised by some of the goalkeepers that have stepped up. To be honest,
Falk's done all right. I think they've been better with Musovic, but they've not conceded a goal yet. So
I think
can't really complain, can they?
Fisker Strand has actually done quite well for Norway because they've been under a lot more pressure than I'm sure she anticipated going into the tournament. And who Denmark? Is it Ostergaard?
Yeah, Ostergaard.
That save from Angeldal alone in the first game was just quality.
Yeah, fair enough. Goalkeepers I've been disappointed by. Thought Koivunen for Finland just didn't look comfortable ever.
Yeah, not done any errors, but I don't think she looks convincing.
No. That'd be my worry in going into Switzerland-Finland game. Olivia Peng, really strong goalkeeper.
Nan Clares, but again, that's
looked nervy.
Yeah,
really
that's expected.
Nervy,
She's never played at the Euros, and I think it's actually harder to come in on a Euros debut playing for a side like Spain because obviously if you mess up, that's a lot of pressure.
We notice.
Yeah. Middleton Patel's made mistakes here, but at the end of the day, it doesn't impact the tournament at all.
She didn't make a save against Portugal, and the only time she was called upon in the Belgium game, she looked a bit hapless.
Yeah. But that'll be fine because they'll bring Catacol back in and that'll patch that hole up.
Absolutely fine.
Action has been phenomenal. Shock.
I feel like there was a mistake in the.
She keeps running
Denmark.
around and acting like she's just about to lose it,
Yeah.
and then she pulls something off and gets out of it.
Berger's obviously brilliant. I thought she was a bit at fault for the Denmark goal.
Near post, yeah.
Could have done better, yeah.
That is true, but I think
Not fault, but yeah.
the saves in the Poland game alone to keep a clean sheet of that match was phenomenal. Hampton's done well.
Yeah, nothing.
Pedro Magnine is
Faster.
must be bored, to be completely honest, because she's either conceded goals she can't do anything about, or just had nothing to do.
Yeah. I do think that's something could let them down later in the tournament, though. I don't rate Pedro Magnine particularly
Compared to
highly.
Cole, Hampton, Van Domselaar,
Berger.
to be fair, Netherlands probably out of it. If yeah,
Probably out.
yeah.
But
There's no way.
results go how we expect.
There's no way that Pedro Magnine, Hampton, and Dan Van Domselaar could be left in it. But yeah,
I think if France are looking to go deep, that could be one of their potential problems. It would be goal. I think other than that, the team looks fairly strong.
yeah. I think that's all of them really that's stepped up. Olivia Peng. for
Yeah, I
Switzerland.
mentioned her briefly.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, she looked good.
Iceland goalkeeper Runas Dyer, I can't say much positive about.
No.
Nothing positive really about Iceland from this tournament.
No.
They came in with such expectation.
Oh,
They were the
did you
first
see
team to
their
get knocked out.
thunderclap after the Switzerland game? That was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. Because it's like meant to be this like Viking warrior, fires you up, and they're all just going, "Oh, we're out. Oh, we're out." They're all just crying. It was so sad.
Yeah, nice to see that lot.
Yeah.
Bit of union.
Portugal, Inês Pereira, shambles.
Inês Pereira's always been a really poor
Moraes, phenomenal, and her
Yeah.
celebrations after the Italy game were incredible.
goalkeeper. After every save she made.
And the way she just sat in the crowd after full time, chilling with these Portuguese
But
fans.
there were saves in there was the first goal, I think, where she had or maybe the second half, where she had the opposing the Italy fans behind her, and she turned around and just roared in their face.
That was good. I thought she's done well.
Double change come for France. Here come the big guns. They're going to get a 15-minute run out for
Boring.
Tommy Baltimore and Mary Antoinette.
So unnecessary. So unnecessary.
I'm very unnecessary. I had Baltimore captain. I was hoping that she wouldn't play because I've got Russo on vice.
Gigliani, I think's done well for Italy.
Giuliani.
Sorry, yeah. Belgium.
Can't name their goalkeeper off the top of my head now.
What's her name? All I can think of is Evrard, but she hasn't started.
Oh, Litvus.
Lichtfuss. She's done all right. I mean, she has conceded 6 to Spain.
Well, there we go. There's all the goalkeepers at the tournament.
Is that all?
All summarised.
Yes.
Phil says, everyone thought it was Iceland's best outfield player, to be fair. What did she do? Just
I
good
feel-
passer.
Yeah, I feel like Phil's alluding to a funny moment, and we've both forgotten that funny
There's
moment.
so much Euros football, I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Like, the amount of football matches I've watched over the last 3 weeks is must be unhealthy.
Well, I watched loads in prep and learning about
Yeah.
tactics and stuff, so I'm just so frazzled now.
There's
What's
just so many
that?
sports going on. I've watched sort of sport. The amount of sport I consume now on a daily basis is absurd.
Justin says I was not about to see the England game. Who had the best goal?
Lauren James.
Yeah.
Or Stanway, actually.
No, Alde's was better.
I'm a sucker for a low-driven effort.
Yeah.
That's a really sad sentence, but you know what I mean.
Do love a load of effort, don't you?
Just like
Depends if you prefer efforts that fly into the top corner or
I'm
pile
a
driver.
power. I like power behind a strike.
You've never scored.
No, they're not me. Blimey, I go for power. It never doesn't go very well.
That's your problem.
Reason I don't play anymore. But no, I thought
Kept hitting cars in the car park to make you stop.
yeah, no, it's like when a player even it doesn't have to be on the long floor.
Phil says, really nice. Iceland's best outfield player because she was the only one that completed a few passes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they had so much potential. We had them in the semi-finals.
Yeah. Confusing. Jonsdal 2 was really disappointing. It's funny because it could have been such a different tournament. You know, if you look at the opener against Finland, if that Jonsdal tier chance goes in towards the end,
Switzerland's a fruit.
suddenly,
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
suddenly they take a point at least from that game probably,
And take belief.
and then yeah, they've got a bit more confidence. But they just went to the Switzerland
Or-
game and went with one game. We're going to get as many fouls as possible and just see if we
Or-
can foul our way through.
Norway should be on 0 points, but obviously that would mean that the group would be over. Norway should not be in a position.
Norway should be out now. They've been
But they're confirmed
terrible.
So bad. But they're gonna and they won't get Spain because they finish top of the group.
It should be Italy. That'll be a test.
That's the type of game they could squeeze through, and then suddenly they've got.
I don't mind. We'll play them in the semi.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
We 8-0 did the last Euros. Nigel says typical of the English. We prefer thunder bastards. We do indeed. Low and hard, smash it home.
Get your head over the ball, laces through it. None of this fancy
business. I watched Lauren Jones play football, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Changes coming for both sides. Fionn Morgan making the way off.
Well played. Well played. For everyone in Wales.
Rowan Morgan off for Jones.
This just feels like Rhian Wilkinson cycling through the team and making sure everyone gets an opportunity.
So Jones into midfield, Joel into the front line. And was there a France change? No. Thought I saw someone in the
I thought I did.
Come on. Oh, Karchawi.
Oh, yes.
Sakina Karchawi's come on.
They're 4 up and they've got left bring on Baltimore, Katoto and Karchawi.
That's what they needed to get through it. Bogarat. Now Samora. Here's Sombath.
The France will be basically through if they hold on to this result now. Yeah.
Sombath's an interesting one because probably didn't expect to start this Euros. Came in because Mbok was injured. Well, has now started both of the matches so far.
Yeah.
And she played herself into starting contention. She sort of, on a broader point, she's done it at Lyon. Because Lyon have Tachiane, Renard, and Mbok. No, Mbok's at PSG. They'll probably just sign then. But, yeah, Lyon have got Renard, Tachiane. They had Vanessa Gilles. I think she's not coming back, though.
No. Like, it has taken 79 minutes, but Kerry Holland has finally been booked.
They've got England who can play there, so about time. England can play as well. Has Sombath played herself into a position where she could be starting for both club and country?
Potentially, so. Depends what they do at the Euros.
Doesn't really ever put a foot wrong.
No. She's made it, again, like Lauren James, but at the back. Just makes defending look so simple.
Sombath, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's fairly underrated.
I think she's a bit of a can be a little bit of a luxury defender at times. No foul.
Just going around making a bit of money now. That was not a yellow.
Go. First foul of the game. Let's have a look. It's aggressive, but I don't think it's a yellow. Yeah, that's what
Red's got a card quoted ahead.
Yeah, I mean, she loved the card, Desiree. The home ref as well. She's trying to put on a show for her home fans.
They must have like a poll going around the refs room. Oh, we can get most yellow cards this tournament.
Well, some of them are tricky. I mean, Kathleen Courtscar's winning because she's the only one to give out a red card. That's double points.
Possibly. Or even more.
But Devachescu hasn't got a hand.
There was another red card, wasn't there?
Yes.
Portugal. Anna Borges tried to murder
Martin Cicic. Ivana Martin Cicic, yeah. So, 2 red cards at the tournament so far. And a red card per match day at the moment, match week at the moment.
Martin Cicic was the same ref. She was the ref for the. Oh no, it's Tessa Olofsson, wasn't it?
England
France.
He's shot that.
Had a howler.
Can't wait for her to appear in the final when England gets Spain. Hello, I'm back.
England France again. Oops.
Offside.
What should do in England Sweden?
Oh God.
Well, that wouldn't obviously be allowed, alas. But Wales over this free kick. And that will get the Welsh fans in the crowd off their seats. Could they find a goal?
In front of the home fans.
So far right. There are mountains.
They've made it their home, to be fair.
Pull in.
Okay,
says cracking analysis, guys. What's your dream final?
What's that handball? Wales screaming for a penalty. Question.
They'll pray. What's your dream final? I would say England taking on San Marino. No,
Yeah.
the options available. We don't want to play Spain.
We'll take Sweden. That's
Yeah.
I think it's because the England, we just going to pick a side that we can beat. I think take England out of the equation. What's the dream final without England?
Oh, so if England were to get knocked out,
yes.
I want to watch.
Which two teams would put on the best game?
That's a different question.
Okay, dream final without England in it.
Cool. I just don't want it to be Spain, really. France, Germany.
Nah, that's not handball. Yeah, I think
If they finish top of their group, they won't meet to the final.
I think a really rogue final would be brilliant.
Well, yeah, Switzerland
Sweden
versus Sweden
would be cracking.
You would have a nightmare. You've been calling them Switzerland, Sweden.
No, it'd be great. No one ever know what I'm talking about.
You'd finally be right.
Yeah, but I feel like because in that I'd love to see a site like a rogue finalist, but the problem is unless it's going to be like a Wigan FA Cup situation, they're just never going to win. Like, yes, if Sweden went on a brilliant run and got to the final against Spain,
Sweden could win. That's not too rogue. That's more Crystal Palace against FA Cup. Wigan would be if Poland got out the groups and had got into the Euro and won it. And
Pior's there, Maloney.
I'm not trying to think who Ben Watson would be.
You know it's been a bit of a long day when in the 84th minute of France Wales we're wondering which Polish women's player would be Ben Watson from FA Cup winning Wigan side.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know the reference and didn't watch the 2013 FA Cup final, Wigan won, Ben Watson 89th minute winner. Great header.
Phil was in his 30s, I think. It's seen 3 decades worth of FA Cup final for that one.
Phil's forgotten that one. Dementia's setting in. Code Lady says, yeah, I hope Sweden can be the winner.
That would be brilliant.
No, England winner, please.
Carnarade.
Nigel says, Germany a final wouldn't be that much fun to watch, I don't think. Actually, they've won loads. I just don't want to see Spain win it. The longer that Spain don't win it...
France haven't won it yet. If England don't win it, I wouldn't mind France winning. Especially because then we could say, well, we lost to the winners in the group. So, you know...
Oh, not I forget Nigel's a Man City fan, not happy about the reminder of the 2013 FA Cup final.
I feel for you so much, all the trophies that you missed out on.
No success. Yeah, Man City's one of the clubs where you think, why would you support the women's team? Because Chelsea makes sense. Obviously, just support it because you're a good person and you enjoy women's football, but like, from a success standpoint, Chelsea makes sense. The men's side aren't winning anything. The women's side are winning everything. Baltimore in towards the back post, sent it away. Hopefully, the men's side can actually start to win things soon.
I think that's what the women's side needs to get is loyalty, a loyalty aspect, not just people supporting teams because they're winning.
Yeah. No, 100% right.
So that's why I like when we do these videos and like we get people commenting. It's like they're a loyal Aston Villa fan who have been rubbish for the last couple of years. But they're still loyal, because it's their club. That's what the women, rather than people just.
To be fair, Villa had a great season 2 years ago.
They did.
Last season was fairly abysmal over the bar. From Diani, she's been threatening all night. Shot.
France is taking pot shots now.
Yeah, the game's reached a lull.
One of those. It's a bit of a disappointing way to end Matchweek 2, really.
Yeah.
2 drubbings. Oh, well, this is nice.
Oh, I enjoyed it earlier, to be honest. Yeah,
this is really nice.
Ingle will get minutes at European Championships. Love this. She's been out all season with an ACL injury. Hasn't played a minute for Chelsea. Will now get on at the end of this game, replacing Jess Fishlock.
Who will get a deserved standing ovation, Fishlock. Because that, I think, as I said at half time where you went here,
they don't even do nights.
It's poetic that she scored the goal because, Wales' first major international tournament and probably her first and her last at 38 years old. I don't think she'll be at World Cup, even if Wales get to World Cup 27, I don't think her at 40 years old will still be playing.
Her best bet is that England get the 2032 Euros.
And they get that automatically.
And then they'll probably do what they do in the men's game where they'll have the top 2, the 10-2 teams.
Why can't Wales make the 2027 World Cup?
Because they're not in the best 10 nations in Europe, I think it is, that go through.
Only 10?
It's not a massive World Cup. Oh, it is expanding.
Oh, yeah.
32 teams. I think, for the next one. So that will be interesting.
But yeah, I feel like, we've had some, across match week 2, we've seen some really close and competitive games. Then today, England and France have come out and changed that. Match week 3, though, tomorrow is the game to watch out for.
No one is watching Norway-Iceland. There'll be about 3 people watching Norway-Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
But join Harry here to watch Switzerland take on Finland. I'm gutted I'm not here for it, unfortunately.
Straight
Got
fight.
commitments elsewhere. 90
minutes, where it is both sides have control of their fate. Couldn't be more perfect. I can't wait.
Thanks, Dana White, for that little pre-match presser.
Honestly, it's going to be a cracking game.
90 minutes straight. That's more than Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
90 minutes straight fight. 2 boxing their prime.
Just heavy punches, going for it. Adrenaline.
It does always sound like. It's like when politicians tend to be into football. Oh, I can't wait for the footy. My team, Southampton.
They're getting stuck right in. Jolly good time in the league. Battling it out. But yeah, honestly, jokes aside, tomorrow will be a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Between, I think, the surprise of the tournament, Finland, the host of the tournament, Switzerland. It's going to be a good one.
Surely the host favourites, though. Just.
I don't know. Katerina Kasola.
That's true, but Kasola, I've been calling her.
I found a mixed thing that everyone's using mixed thing, so I don't know what to say to them.
They haven't done a video on the UEFA TikTok
No.
telling people how to pronounce it. The Polish team did, and that still hasn't helped. So,
Yeah.
I know how you pronounce it. I can't do that.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. But all the match week 3 games will be good because all the no group is, well, apart from Germany, Sweden, but they've still got to have a straight fight for top. But no group is fully decided. A, B, and D are not decided as to who's going through yet.
Yeah. No, so I was born to a family of City fans, so it's only natural to support the women's team once I got into women's football, especially the complex we've got.
Good.
Yeah, fair enough. That was a similar story for us. Chelsea fans got into women's football, started supporting Chelsea. We're very lucky in that regard that Chelsea are the most successful team.
But I'm glad that you've actually said that you were born to a City family because it really annoys when you get Man City fans. You go, what year do you sort of start supporting them? Oh, 2018, 2017. And it's like
that's a little late, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, they happen to pick them.
Yeah. Samora across to Sombath, back to Samora. No, it says, I hope Switzerland vs Finland isn't one of those games where both teams just play not to lose. I think it will be cagey early on. I think the thing is, as soon as someone scores, and both these sides have got sort of long shot abilities, we've seen Casolas put Cohen and Reutler hit the bar up 3 times. They've both got, and Iman Bennett really close, an absolute screamer. But as soon as that deadlock's broken, the game goes haywire. 4 minutes of additional time. Because they've both got a gun. Kev said, you convinced me, Jack. I won't be watching Harry on his own tomorrow.
Wow.
There we go.
I mean, it is going to be interesting to see how many times I call Switzerland Sweden.
Yeah.
But no, it's going to be a good game.
Well, we'll be back
I'll
tomorrow with that. I'll be back Friday to watch Spain beat Italy. And Italy still get through just.
I hate to break it to you guys, but Saturday, you're back to just me again.
The views. But England Wales on Sunday night. We'll have full house again.
Loads of people in here.
Oh, it's funny, isn't it? Football, we've
rafters.
never had more than 2 on a live stream on the Women's Football Chat. Back in the day on the old channel, you used to have a good crowd in this room. It was mental.
We had 4 a couple of times. It was very difficult.
We've had 4 and a producer, so we ended up with 5 in here.
Well, maybe we'll have to get some guests on.
They've got to come here.
What's Ian Wright doing? Imagine you lot. I don't think he's not tuned in and Ian Wright just sat to my right.
It looks so weird.
Yeah, he just we've brought Ian Wright and he's just perched in the corner.
You really just say it. They think it's superimposed.
He comes to lean in.
But yeah.
The game is really...
Ian Wright is in England. He's not out there covering the tournament. Yeah. He was at Silverstone, so...
Ring him up.
He's not on ITV's coverage. So he's not
yeah. Any look, I made sure of that. What I find, the pundits really like Vicky Lasada on the BBC coverage.
Yeah.
It's like they're Spain representative.
Well, she's like the only. The problem is they don't have enough ex-players yet in the women's game.
No.
They have to use current players and managers and stuff. And she's the only one it's the Spanish player that's living in England.
Yeah.
That has a good, like, has played for a long time, has played for the national side, and has gone on to retire.
Yeah.
And has, speaks good English.
Yeah.
So there's so many different factors you've got to tick.
I like tonight's one. You've got Jane Ludlow, who obviously managed Wales for 7 years, was it? 14 to 21, I think it was, or maybe 15, 22. I think it was 14, 20. And then Laura Georges, obviously French France representative, and then Enya Lugo. Forget that bit. But overall,
England player, we should say.
Yes. We got like 110 caps.
Accomplished pundit.
With a yes.
Has done many games. Bit of nudge there, just reminiscing on the past in chats. That's nice to see.
Oh, look at it. Someone finally understanding Phil's references.
Yeah. France going out to the right hand side. Somba and Dongala. Smashed out of play for a France throw. Only a minute to go.
I feel this isn't a 4-1 game.
No.
The stats will look like a 4-1 game, but when you watch it,
Middleton Patel with two
blunders,
poor,
and probably should have saved the penalty.
piece of goal.
And that's 3 goals, and suddenly it's. I'm not obviously that is a very literal way to look at it.
France had 5 big chances tonight. Only scored 2.
The Wales fans are enjoying themselves. They got a goal against France at the Euros. They are taking that one to the bank.
Absolutely, they got a goal at the Euros.
Yeah,
it's huge. Means Poland are the only side where they haven't.
Yeah. I think they could beat Denmark, though, Matchweek 3.
They get a goal.
I think they can. Yeah.
I think they could win. That is full time here in St. Gallen. France imposing by the end. Not the most convincing victory, but 3 points on the board. And that sees Wales out of the competition. France close to progressing. All they need is a point against Netherlands to seal their spot in this year's knockout stages. Join us next on Sunday night to see England take on Wales and see who will progress. Hopefully England can have as much joy as France have by the end here.
Yeah. Credit to Wales, a valiant effort at this tournament. They fought well against Netherlands and just fell apart in the second half. And then very, very similarly tonight, they fought well in the first half. But again, a penalty and a corner conceding in the first half wasn't good enough. Fell away in the second half. But they got a goal at Euro 2025. A massive moment for them. Jess Fishlock writing herself into more Welsh history. And an opportunity for the fans who have made the trip, done a brilliant tournament so far, and huge support for the Welsh. They got something to cheer, which is very promising. But France, just a class above, and they've put themselves into a very commanding position going into the last match week, beating England, beating Wales, and they're looking to complete the set by beating Netherlands on Sunday. But overall, match week 2 is done and dusted. We are straight into match week 3 tomorrow. That has come round quickly.
No rest for the wicked. Make sure to join us tomorrow morning as we're going to round up all the action from match day 2. That'll be out whenever we can get it out, probably looking around midday. But you'll still have plenty of time because there's no 5 o'clock tomorrow. For the first time in 8 days, we won't be live twice tomorrow. Only the 8 o'clock kickoffs now for the next few nights. And then we've got our first day off of the tournament. So, yeah, we are into the match day 3 fixtures starting tomorrow. Join us for those. Look out for the content, shorts and videos coming across the channel. That, though, is everything from us today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.